football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out, brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. This is me, your boy Larry B. bringing here on a beautiful Wednesday evening. It is Wednesday, November 20th, 2019, and we have returned for another action-packed, wall-to-wall episode of 3 and Out, right here, once again, on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's get into the action. Alrighty, y'all, first things first, last week, talk about a battle. That's how we say, you gotta play defense on offense to win games in the AFC North. Well, this was every bit as advertised. Talk about a battle. Yes, I will address the last couple seconds of the game, but my gosh, the Browns and the Steelers went head-to-head, and the Browns not looking too shabby. The Steelers, yeah, ouch. Anyway, moving forward into Sunday, Cowboys and Lions. This was a battle. The Lions will give everything they possibly could. However, the Cowboys are just a little bit too much for them. However, how much are the Cowboys? How good are the Cowboys? We'll talk about that. Also, Colts and Jaguars. Ladies and gentlemen, the Colts are the Colts. That's all there is to it. Bills over the Dolphins. The Dolphins gave more fight than I thought they would, but wasn't enough. Anyway, Vikings over the Broncos in an effort that I thought was amazing. However, Broncos, that's a little more fight than I thought they were going to give. Well, Vikings pulled it off, but that was a great game. Saints over the Buccaneers in a game that, once again, the Saints were just a little pissed off about last week. Let's just say that. Victory on the road. Jets over the Redskins. Well, let's just say the Jets are getting a little bit better. Falcons over the Panthers. Well. The Falcons return, or the Panthers just kind of in a bad slump. Ravens and Texans. Yeah, who thought that was going to be closer? So did I. Niners over the Cardinals in a very good football game. Niners still undefeated. Patriots over the Eagles in what was a very good battle, but the Patriots show they still got it. And my Raiders will defeat the Bengals by 7 points. Yeah, I was expecting a little more, Raiders. Anyway, continuing on, Rams over the Bears in a game that, let's just say, both these teams have not shown up at all this year. And, well, from looks of things, it still looks kind of like that. And the Chiefs win over the Chargers in Mexico City. What a battle. You are tuned in live to 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we go. First and foremost, I just gotta say my apologies for last week, y'all. Definitely just a crazy week. For those of you who heard the live show, we just had so many difficulties that I was trying to re-record it with my schedule, as many of you know now. Yeah. My schedule, balancing work, my job, and of course balancing my master's degree, currently in my second course right now of my first term, balancing that as well as managing IE Sports Radio, just finished playing my very own season, and of course coaching at, the high school level at my old high school, coaching those guys, and, enjoying every bit of it. But, strength conditioning as well as on the field, our season has come to a close, but hey, you know how it goes. Still gotta continue on with the off-season lifting program. I'm still doing my own thing. Gotta hit that, gotta be in the gym. Gotta make sure I'm ready for next season. So with all of those crazy things being juggled, it's tough. Sometimes these shows get neglected, and that sucks. But it really, really sucks. But I just gotta say, once again, y'all are awesome. Y'all deserve suction applause, man. I mean, seriously. Y'all are the real deal. Like, y'all are the real MVP. Like, for real. I appreciate y'all so much for sticking with us every single week, showing us love, and just being a part of the show. I really couldn't appreciate y'all enough, and thank you so much for sticking with me and for sticking with us here at IE Sports Radio. And really glad that, we've got a chance. A lot of you out there have opened up to brand new shows, I'm sure. And, of course, as you can see, we've had a little bit of a facelift, and it's going to continue. We're definitely going to have another, a big facelift here coming up with some new guests, some new hosts, that is, new shows even. Lots to come in the new year for IE Sports Radio. Once again, this is our 5th year on the air, and honestly, I feel like it is just it's flown by, but the best is truly yet to come, and we're coming to our own right now. We're really, really starting to hit the ground running, and, it took 5 years, but hey, once again, appreciate all of you listening from the very beginning. Anybody who's joined in the last 5 years, or any of you brand new listeners, this could be the first show you hear here at iSports Radio, and I just couldn't appreciate y'all more for showing us love and for being here and for listening and giving us a little bit of your day. We really appreciate that. Big ups to all of the shows from earlier this week, of course. Mr. Terran Rodriguez on Set Point talking volleyball, of course, NCAA volleyball. Those ladies are getting down into their conference tournaments right now. And they're getting ready for the, for their big tournament coming up at the beginning of next month. We're also talking with by the way, big ups to the brand new host of the Soccer Scoreboard Show, man, Mr. Marlon, man. Marlon's the real deal. This dude is legit. I mean, he's really taking it deep into the world of soccer, and he's doing a great job of it, of course, on the Soccer Scoreboard Show. So that's on Mondays. Did a great job there. Of course, Mr. Phil Jones and Mr. Phil Robinson III holding it down on Fast Break and on The Unfiltered Truth. Big ups to Miss Caitlin Seam, of course, on Not What It Seems, as well as Caitlin Seam and Daryl Kinsick Jr. and Lolita Camello and Mr. Michael Ward holding it down on The Extra Mile, our auto sports show. So, like I said, we are all over the place. Currently, almost there, I feel like, with our boxing show. Once again, ringside, getting that picked back up again. Our boxing MMA show, getting that going up. So much. Like I said, some of our shows kind of took a hit this year. It's been a rough one, and it sucks because at the same exact time that everybody else seemed to get busy, and some people just had to, I don't want to say drop iSports Radio, but not necessarily have time for their shows anymore. It kind of happened to me at the same exact time with all of my schooling and work and everything. So it's crazy because that all happened at once in the last couple of months, and now it's like, crap, we've lost a few shows, you know what I mean, because their hosts can't do it no more. So I'm just trying my best to regroup and regather everything, but I just regained my footing and all that stuff there. Got to keep my grades up, got to stay active, got to stay training and everything for next season. So it's just so much. Of course, got to make money with work. So it's got to say thank you to everybody who just shows love every week and tunes in. Even last week's disaster of a show, I could appreciate all of you guys for who tuned in live, and of course who checked that one out. So really, thank you once again from the bottom of my heart, and y'all are definitely appreciated. And of course, big ups to the man above. That's right. All glory to God, to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for without Him, nothing is possible. And of course, as I always say, big ups to all of you out there, because without you, iSports Radio is not possible. Thank you. All right, y'all. With that said, let's go ahead and jump on in to the recap of this week. It's a little, started a little bit later, but it's okay. We'll get through this thing in 20 minutes and get ready for our primetime face-offs. So, and by the way, just so y'all know, Goal Line Stand didn't go anywhere. Yes, all the craziness hit me again with work and school and all the good stuff. However, I have been writing it all day. And tonight, after the show, I'm going to record I'm going to do it. I know you've heard that a million times, but I'm going to record the very first episode of Goal Line Stand, my YouTube series, and I'll be talking, of course, it's going to be split into different series. College Edition kind of fell on its face this year. My apologies for that, but we'll get back on that soon, Taryn and I, and then, of course, we'll have Goal Line Stand in the meanwhile with myself. And tonight I'll be getting into, of course, lots of the CCAA, lots of great stuff there in the college, junior colleges, as well as the NJCAA. We got a big championship coming up, y'all. The season has concluded in a couple weeks. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to have a big championship game. Really excited for that. And that is going to be the NJCAA National Championship. Mississippi Gulf Coast taking on Lackawanna. Be a very good game there. And of course, we are down now to the final four of each the northern and southern sections in the CCAA. So, you know how that goes. We got the semis and then the championship of the North and South, and those two meet in the national championship, or the California State Championship, if you will, for the CCAA. So we talk about that. And of course, talking a little bit of high school football. I wish I can have enough, enough capacity to go through all 50 states of football. However, just focusing on Southern California, in the Southern section of CIF. But if you're interested, hey, we've got big schools like Mater Dei, Corona Centennial, St. John Bosco, J. Sarah. Yeah, schools like that. So if you're interested, check it out. And we'll have some fun there. So I'll be recording that video tonight. Show me some love. Check it out. And after that, I'll be getting into the next video coming up. After that will be a little more on, the other divisions in college, of course, the NCAA and the NAIA, Division III, Division II, FCS, and the FBS, as well as the NAIA, which is its own thing. We'll get into that. So lots of good stuff there. And I'll even throw some NFL editions of Goal Line Stand out there. But it's all going to come together along here with 3 and Out. So it all works together. So anyway, I've talked a lot. And I got to get to the recap. But that's pretty much what's going down, what's going on, and lots to come here on IE Sports Radio, especially in the coming weeks and in the new year, y'all. We're almost at 1,500 shows. So I'm so excited. So here we go. Let's go into the recap. So quick and dirty, y'all. Browns. Okay. Browns, Steelers. Let me just go ahead and start with this because everyone's been asking me. Okay, let's get on with this really quick. First things first. Yes, I do not condone what Myles Garrett did. No, I understand that. Okay, I totally get it. Terrible thing. You don't take off somebody's helmet and swing it at them. I totally get that. However, Rudolph is not innocent in this, and you've heard it all week long from all kinds of analysts all over sports stations and everything. Yeah, homeboy actually tried to rip his helmet off first. That's not cool, dude. So, unfortunately, what happened, and I'm really, it sucks because, the retaliation was way worse. Myles Garrett didn't have to swing his helmet. I mean, he could have thrown a punch. I mean, not that would have been the smartest thing to do, because punching a helmet's not necessarily the smartest thing to do. However, it is what it is. It was a spur of the moment thing. It sucks. I understand. However, it happened, and we just gotta let it go. Myles Garrett has suspension. We have the dude who I honestly thought, because this would have been me all day, Marquise Pouncey is kind of wear the same number, 53. But yeah, I would have been the dude to run up and start throwing punches, because that's my boy, and I don't care if he's in the right or wrong, we're fighting. I mean, that's all there is to it, so I don't blame him one bit, and Ogunjobi as well. Larry Ogunjobi, he was suspended as well, but it is what it is. Everyone got the Sphinx out the way, whatever. But let's just be real. The Browns moving forward are going to miss a big part of their defense. I don't know. Right when things are looking up, they might not be looking up so much anymore. I'm saying that's how much impact this guy can have, especially next week, without him and Ogunjobi. So anyway, it's going to be tough this year. And I really don't see the Browns going much further than the regular season. That's about it. And the Steelers, well, there's too much to get into. That's just not good about them right now. So, quick and dirty, Baker Mayfield, not a bad day, 17 for 32. 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not a bad day at the office. He did his thing. He got a victory. Nick Chubb, 8 shy of the sanctuary mark, 27 carries. Cool, dude. You got a nice job there. Odell Beckham Jr., 4 receptions for 60 yards. All together came together for a 21-7 victory. Browns are now 4-6. Pittsburgh Steelers will fall to 5-5. Next up here, we have the Cowboys and the Lions. Excuse me, but somebody explained to me why the Cowboys, didn't blow this team out. I know that I always tell you every week, I'm a huge Matt Patricia fan. I'm such a big fan of this guy, such a big fan of his defenses, especially when he was with the Patriots. It's coming, okay? Stop talking crap, y'all. It's coming. However, the Cowboys right now, I was a little unimpressed with their defense because they should be much better than this. The offense of the Lions is nowhere near that good, and you got Driscoll playing. Nothing against Driscoll, but it's not Matthew Stafford. It's not the starter. How are you guys letting these guys get so many freaking yards? I mean, what the hell? I don't understand the Cowboys right now. It's really kind of concerning, in my opinion, because I don't see them going very far as how I thought they would in the beginning of the season. I had this team going at least 10-6, which they still can do. 11-5, maybe even 10-4 if they were really good. But this year, now, I mean, they got Zeke, which is great. Prescott's doing his thing, but can the defense help them out? Because the Lions damn near beat this team. Scarborough had a pretty decent day. Gallup, of course, does his thing. We knew that this guy last in the Senior Bowl. We saw this guy out of Colorado State doing his thing, and now look at he's balling out for the Cowboys. Really excited. Regardless, this game went kind of back and forth. 35-27. You guys get the picture. Cowboys win it, and they go to 6-4 in the season. Lions will drop to 3-6-1, and they just didn't do anything. The Cowboys are something up there, and I don't really care for it. So, Lions, they'll regain their footing, but might be another tough year for them. Anyway, next up, Colts over the Jags. We do not have to spend much time on this one at all. Why? Because Brissett does what Brissett does. 15 for 24. Maybe not decent. Only missed 9 throws. But 148 yards, 1 touchdown. He did throw a pick, but, can we look besides the point that he's actually, kicking ass right now? This guy's really good. And I'm loving what he's doing. Foles came back. And not going to say anything bad about Foles. He did take the, Eagles to the Super Bowl, and I do believe they should have kept him, but whatever. Anyway, long story short, Fournette got held to 23 yards on 8 carries, and Chark is the man. This guy's awesome. 8 receptions, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Second-year man out of LSU, but I'll tell you something. There's just nothing clicking there. That defense folded like a cardboard box, man. They didn't look good at all. They looked terrible on defense, and they were playing decent defense not too long ago, and it was kind of, just kind of fell apart. Then when it comes to the Colts offense, pretty good, but still, I don't know. They're a good offense, okay, but still, the Jaguars have many concerns right now. Williams, 13 carries, 116 yards. Johnson, 4 receptions, 38 yards, 1 touchdown. It was all good enough for a victory, 33-13. The Colts will just beat down the Jags. 6-4 for the Colts and 4-6 for the Jags. Moving forward, Bills and the Dolphins. This was just, I thought that the Dolphins were going to get beat worse than this. I thought it was going to be 37-7 maybe, okay? I did not see them fighting whatsoever the way they did. Fitzpatrick, he had a decent day. 32 for 45, 323 yards. But Balage, or Balaj, I don't want to butcher his name. I remember him in the Senior Bowl last year. Second-year man out of ASU. 9 carries and 9 yards with 1 touchdown. Hey, he got a touchdown, but my gosh, that is hardly next to anything. Parker had a good day, 7 receptions for 135 yards. But talk about Brown. This dude's extremely fast. We've seen it before. We've seen it in the combine. Okay, 9 receptions, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. Decent day at the office for this guy. And really, you know what? If I've got to point anybody out, man, Allen is coming to his own. This kid is getting it. 21 for 33, 256 yards and 3 touchdowns. You know what, dude? More power to you, man. Keep balling. Singletary, 15 carries for 75 yards. Once again, enough to get it done for the Bills as they win pretty decent. 17-point victory, 37-20 over the Dolphins on the road. Bills now at 7-3. Dolphins will fall to 2-8. Next up, we have the Vikings, who struggled so bad with the Broncos team, who I honestly did not think is that. This team is 3-7. They are not that good. The defense is good enough to keep them in, but defenses get gassed when their dang offense can't stay out there, and the Broncos have anything but a good offense. Seriously, you can throw anybody right now at quarterback or anywhere. And the only guy who I think is even doing anything right now is Lindsey, and he didn't even have that good of a day. Okay, Sutton had a pretty good day. Nothing against him, but I'm just saying there's hardly anything to cheer about if you're a Broncos fan right now. You're kind of just hoping for next season to hurry up and get here. But I'll tell you what, the Vikings, with as good as they started out, they had a really big fight with this team. Once again, any given Sunday, it's an NFL team, I know. But as good as the Vikings have been, they should have literally stomped this team out. Cousins, 29 for 35. Okay, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. You know what? I'll take it. Diggs, 5 receptions, 121 yards, 1 touchdown. Cook, 11 carries, 26 yards. Definitely not the best day for him, but he got 1 touchdown. Guess what? It was enough to get the victory. This was a very good football game towards the very end. The Vikings had to literally come back in this thing. They were down 23-7 at the end of the third. They had to come back with 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Of course, that goes to show you how good they really are. Where the hell was that all the entire game? Okay, and that goes to show you how gassed the defense of the Broncos could really get. Of course, any defense can get gassed, and their offense can't really do much and stay on the field. So, 27-23. Vikings win this thing 8. They go to 8-3 on the season, as the Broncos will fall to 3-7. Saints will have a pretty good little fight here. A good little scrap. It was 20-7 at the half. Not saying it was near close, but my gosh, you know what? I gotta continue to give the Buccaneers some kind of props, because once again, they're anything but gonna win this division. Okay, they're not good, but they're just not that good to be in the standing. However, I am looking forward right now to a good, to a good victory Or I was looking forward to a good victory from the Saints, and guess what? They did it. Last week was a very annoying game for them. They lost a game they should not have lost. Breeze came out this week, 28 for 35, 228 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It was enough to get a victory. Good job for you, Breeze. And for the Saints, Kamara, Thomas having pretty good days. 34-17. Saints go to 8-2 as the Buccaneers will fall to 3-7. Sorry, guys, kind of put a little hyperspeed on here. We only got like 10 minutes before the face-offs begin, but let's go ahead and get on in to this game. The Jets right now have a very good game. I am so excited for the Raiders and Jets this week. Why? Because it's going to be a very good battle. That run defense is great. Big shout out to my old coach, man, Sergio Castro, of course, Coach Bronco. The guy's awesome, man. He sent me a cool link yesterday talking about how the Jets could beat the Raiders, of course, because of that run defense. And I'm excited. This is the challenge for the Raiders. Stand up, y'all. Let's fight. But anyway, Sam Darnold, not a bad day, man. 19 for 30, 293 yards, 4 touchdowns. He threw 1 pick, but we can overlook that, guys. He didn't look too bad. Haskins, he threw a pick, but he also didn't look too bad either. 19 for 35, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. You know what? Briar days are coming, Redskins fans. I like this. So overall, not a bad day. I really like what I'm seeing out of the Jets right now. They got a victory, 34-17 on the road. Jets jump to 3-7 on season as the Redskins will fall to 1-9. Next up, the Falcons. Have they redeemed themselves? Maybe not. But guess what? They're going to win this one because after Cam Newton was down, it's pretty much done. The Panthers have just lost their way. I don't see these guys winning many more games this year. It's just bad. McCaffrey's doing all he can. Trust me. Allen is doing all he can as well. But it's unfortunately, it was a losing effort. The Falcons came out all guns ablaze, and look at Matt Ryan, man, 21 for 31, 311 yards, 1 touchdown. Talk about getting it done, and they did. Ridley, yeah, remember that? You remember that youngster? Yeah, guess what? He's getting things done, man. The beast out of Alabama. Super excited for this guy and his little brother in Chicago. These two guys are balling. I just want to see the little brother get more love, man, because the Bears need something. But yeah, Ridley, look at this, man. 8 receptions, 143 yards, 1 touchdown. That's a lot to do in 8 receptions, guys. So anyway, final score 29-3. Big victory here over the Carolina Panthers. 3-7 now for the Atlanta Falcons, and the Panthers will fall to 5-5. Next up, a game that I don't even want to talk about that much because it was just absolutely disgusting in a great way, because this is terrible, guys. You know, if you're a Texans fan, you're saying, hey, our team can fight anybody. We got one of the most elusive quarterbacks in the NFL. And then you then you play against a guy who, is pretty elusive himself. And kind of sucks. I know JJ Watt's out. Big blow to that defense, but still, man, Merciless is still there. This defense is a little banged up, but my gosh, they're still a good defense. And Mark Jackson just ran all over these guys. He beat them down, man. It was bad. Okay, 17 for 24, 222 yards, 7 touchdowns. It was just ugly. So overall, it was just a beatdown. I mean, you can't say anything more. It was just a beatdown. They did everything they could to stomp out the Texans at home, and they did. 41-7. This game was over quick. The Ravens will jump to 8-2 in the season as the Texans will fall to 6-4. Next up here, we have the Niners and the Cardinals, and let's not dwell on this too much, guys. Cardinals, you had your chance. The Cardinals were leading. Actually, were they leading in this game? Yes, they were leading 9-0 at the end of the first. At the end of the second, it was 16-10. You guys had a chance, guys. And then 19-7 at the end of the third. Every quarter was led except for the most important quarter, the fourth quarter, and it's where they gave up a total of 21 points. Not unanswered, but a total of 21 points in the fourth quarter. You can't do that, Cardinals. It was a tough game. I know it was a tough blow to the Cardinals. Very painful loss, but hey, it is what it is. It happens. I mean, you can't say enough, man. Garoppolo, 35-45, 424 yards, 4 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks, but my gosh, if you have him on your fantasy team, he's getting it done. Kyler Murray, not a bad day. I mean, 24 for 33, 150 yards. And 2 touchdowns. Overall, I thought the dude of the day was definitely Samuel, man. How about this? This guy, youngster coming out of South Carolina, just balling out, man. 8 receptions and 134 yards. We saw it in the Senior Bowl. I'm going to keep on dwelling on that, but Senior Bowl practice, Senior Bowl, yeah, he got down. Next up, Patriots and the Eagles. Oh, sorry, but let me go ahead and jump back there. Niners will now jump to 9-1 on the season as the Cardinals will fall to 3-7-1. After that, Patriots get another scare rematch of Super Bowl 2 years ago. Super Bowl 50-51. But I'll tell you what, the Patriots just looked like they were gonna kind of just... Super Bowl 52, sorry. The Patriots looked like... I honestly thought they were going to come out and just stomp all over the Eagles, because the Eagles are so inconsistent. Them and the Bears and the Rams and the Falcons this year... Well, maybe not the Falcons, they're just a dumpster fire. They're regaining their footing, but we won't get into that. Anyway... A couple teams, including the Eagles this year, have just been a mess. They haven't been anything but good. Just very, very, very sluggish. Trying hard to get out of the gate, and they just can't do it. Overall, guys, the Eagles came out and gave much more of a fight than I thought they would. They played at everybody's level. I still remember week 2, Falcons and Eagles. They played very well against each other. The Falcons damn near won that game. However, guess what? Eagles came out, got it done. It was a very good football game, but you can just think to the teams where they played at their level. The Eagles definitely played to the Patriots level, but it was not enough. It came down to that fourth quarter because it came down to the third quarter because nobody scored in the fourth quarter. Going into the half, it was 10-9 Eagles, and in the third quarter, Julian Edelman, not Brady, to Phillip Dorsett, 15-yard pass into the end zone. White will then go in, get a carry for the 2-yard conversion, 17-10 with 10:49 to go in the fourth quarter. In the third quarter. Guess what? That was the last score of the entire game. Defenses took over. We all know how tough that Patriots defense is. However, the Patriots offense, kind of concerning. Yeah, I'm not going to get too much into it, but anyway, so Patriots find a way to win it. They get it done, 9-1 on the season, as the Eagles drop to 5-5. Next up, my beloved Raiders. Yeah, I'm going to give us a little bit of props because we got a victory. Whoop-de-doo, 17-10 over the Bengals. The Bengals are now 0-10. The Raiders are now 6-4. Yeah, can someone please tell me why that wasn't a massive blowout? Everyone blew us out when we were terrible. Why can't we blow out the Bengals? I'm not trying to say anything bad about the Bengals. I'm just saying this team has struggled to do anything. Finley is a rookie quarterback. The guy is absolutely amazing. I thought he was the best quarterback in the Senior Bowl this year. Okay, he went 13 for 31, 115 yards and 1 interception. But you know what? He's a rookie. Defense, are we that terrible? Yeah. Our secondary is a joke, and it's really irritating me. Regardless, Card, not a bad day. 25 for 29, 292 yards, 1 touchdown, but he did throw a pick. We got to work on that. Jacobs, 23 for 112 yards. I'll take it. And Tyrell Williams, man, this guy's the real deal. 4 receptions, 82 yards. Altogether, 17-10 victory there for my beloved Raiders. Jets and Raiders is going to be a great game coming up next week. Anyway, off to Sunday Night Football. Quick and dirty, Rams and the Bears. Last year was a very good game. What was that? 14-12, something like that. Last year was a really good game. Regardless, this was anything but a good game because both these teams have fallen apart. I don't think either of these teams are going to make the playoffs. They might. That's me feeding into kind of regurgitating what the commentators were saying at the end of the game there, but it's honestly really true. The Rams look nothing like they did last year. The Bears look nothing like they did last year. Both these defenses were big and scary last year. Now, I don't think they're very scary at all. It's just, they don't look very good, guys. Nothing here screams out, we're going to win a Super Bowl, or we're even going to go to the NFC Championship for either of these teams. They look terribly sluggish. Roquan Smith is balling. I think he had a pick in this game. Pretty good game. Also, it was, we got Mac balling out over there. But regardless, something's terribly wrong. This team is just terrible both these teams are just terrible on offense right now. Neither of them can get anything done. Defenses are at least a little bit better than their offenses, but there's just not a lot there, guys. So overall, I just don't see very much for these teams coming up unless there's a big change somehow, some way. I don't know. Trubisky, 24 for 43 and 190 yards with 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Goff, 11 for 18. 173 yards, 1 interception. Gurley, 25 carries for 97 yards, 1 touchdown. Cohen, 9 carries for 39 yards. They kept him in check. They also kept the receivers in check. Both these defenses did. Gabriel had 7 receptions for 57 yards, and Reynolds had 3 receptions for 55 yards. Overall, it was just a good football game. I love good defense, but I'll tell you what, guys, it was nothing like what I thought we were going to see. It was a good, and you'll rarely hear me say this, because I love a good defensive battle, because defenses are good, but this time it was just kind of like the offenses were just really kind of struggling, and they were so bad, and the defenses just happened to let up a little bit in these certain cases. Their defenses were still good, but I don't know. Overall, it was just a kind of an odd game. Rams win it. Good victory here once again, 17-7. The Rams will get to 6-4 on the season as the Bears will drop to 4-6. And then we get on to Monday Night Football. This game was really disturbing. Why was it disturbing? Because the Chiefs are so much better than this. Dude, Rivers goes. He throws 4 picks. The dude throws 4 freaking picks. And this big, bad, tough, hardcore, whatever you want to call him, Chiefs offense cannot capitalize and only win by 7 points. The last time, I mean, are you serious? Once again, I'm a Raiders fan, y'all. I have 13 years, okay, from what is that, 04 to 2015, before we were even decent in 2016. I had all those years, okay, of my team being crap, and every time we threw picks and fell apart on defense, they made us pay. We would lose. Remember that? I remember the Titans destroying the Raiders, like freaking almost, it was like 40-something, 50-something to like 10 or something like that. It's like 0 even. Okay, we've been shut out. All I know is this team needs to do something, man. I don't know. Okay, yes, the defense of the Chargers was decent. However, I'm not feeling right now these Chiefs. There's another team that is just, there's something up. Andy Reid is doing his thing, okay? Mahomes doing his thing. Clearly doing his thing, okay? Decent day. But overall, I just got to tell you right now, it has just been, it's a tough day, guys. It's just been a tough day at the office for both these teams this year. Overall, okay, we do got to bounce to our next segment, but overall, this was a really good game for the Chiefs. You know, overall, Kelsey, 7 receptions, 92 yards, 1 touchdown. Mahomes, 5 carries, not 59 yards. And Mahomes, 19 for 32, 182 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But Phillip Rivers, man, 28 for 52, gets 300. He still threw for 353 yards. Says a lot about that secondary. Just saying. And then Gordon, 4 carries, 69 yards, and then Eckler, 8 carries, 8 receptions, and 108 yards. I mean, overall, it was just a sluggish performance from both these teams. Yes, did the Chargers get a touchdown in garbage time to make it a little bit closer? Yes. Regardless, Chiefs just look better. Looked better last year, as we can say that for a lot of teams. Regardless, Chiefs find a way to battle it out. They get a victory. They go to 7-4 on the season, and the Chargers will fall to 4-7. Anyway, with that said, y'all, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, it is time for our first primetime face-off of the evening. We got a whole bunch of those coming your way tonight. It's going to be some fun stuff. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all as always. Let's get ready for that first primetime face-off of the evening. Oh, yeah. You are listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring,
the international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Darrell Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all. That is sports. IE Sports Radio.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back and in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my two co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet. College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS? Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Good day, folks. Yours truly, Nico Green here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
Two Wheels Wednesday is the place to come for all your motorcycle sports news every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio with myself, Matt White. All the latest news, rumours, race reviews and previews from World and British Superbikes and the big one, MotoGP. Two Wheels Wednesday, every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Hi, I'm Phil Robinson, running point, setting up Phil Jones for the finish. Join us every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we break down the week in basketball on the home for Real Talk Sports Radio, IESportsRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Brian McLaughlin. In the National Football League, there are approximately 17 million total fans.
I'm Andrew Guzman. My Dallas Cowboys make up almost 9 million of those fans.
And my Seahawks have a very loyal fan base of around 4 million.
That's more than 3/4 of all the fans.
That's absolutely correct, Andrew. And on the Common Ground Football Podcast, we'll be talking about the good, bad, and the ugly of these teams.
We'll have weekly picks, discuss transactions, injuries.
And we'll chat about the rest of the league, too.
Blake freaking Bortles?
Oh, yes. And Captain Andrew Luck.
Excellent. What about Fitzmagic?
Oh, let's not get carried away now.
Oh, all right then.
Join us each week at commongroundfootballpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast.
It's going to be
awesome.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You got to check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani JB and of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2LiveStewsRadio.com and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan? Indeed.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems, with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Scoreboard Show with your host Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world, from the English Premier League to the World Cup to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well. Sorry about that, y'all. We had a little bit of interesting cuts there, man. My bad. But the original fan just apparently couldn't make it, man. Apparently they knew that the Colts fan was big and bad because this boy is ready. However, I'm so happy because tonight I actually got a hold of another diehard Texans fan who, let's just say this guy, man, he'll be in the Hall of Fame vote next year, man. This guy is the real deal. Every time I ask this guy to be on the show, he's ready for it. And I'm so glad he could be a part of tonight's show, man. So let's go ahead and jump on into the brief introductions. We, don't got too long for this primetime face-off, but it'll be a short and sweet one, and it'll be a fun one, y'all. So here we go. Starting things off for tonight, it is primetime face-off number 1. The Indianapolis Colts taking off the Houston Texans, y'all. 6-4 teams going head-to-head in a division that is wide open in the AFC South. Let's get it! All right, y'all. First and foremost, welcoming tonight's Colts fan, of course, representing his Indianapolis Colts. This dude is the real deal, man. I'm so glad we can have him on the show tonight, and it's kind of funny because he, the name of this page is awesome, and let's just be real. He said he started this page yesterday, and I'm so glad that he can join us here today to promote his page, and of course, to show how much of a diehard Colts fan he is. Ladies and gentlemen, representing the Indianapolis Colts all the way from the East Coast, and representing his brand new page, Colts Nation at Run the Damn Ball. No joke, that's the name of it, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Mr. Vinny. What's going on, Vinny? How you doing, man?
Man, what's happening? Colts Nation, what's happening? How y'all doing?
Good to hear you, brother. Glad to have you back. Well, glad to have you on the show for your first time, man. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, he is, of course, IE Sports Radio Norm. This guy has been on the show a ton of times, and once again, tonight, I am just glad to have him back here yet again to show how much of a Texans fan he is. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way, of course, from the mighty state of Texas, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. Chris Ketchum. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, not much. Doing pretty good.
Man, long time no talk, brother. How have you been?
I'm pretty good. Pretty excited for tomorrow for Thursday because I'm actually going to be going to this game.
Oh my gosh, you're going to be in the house. And whenever Chris is in the house, man, I think every time you told us that you were going to a game here, like the night after or the night before, it turned out to be an amazing game. I don't know what it is about you, man, but you make the games better. So, with that said, y'all, let's get into the first round. Like I said, we got no time to waste tonight. We're a little bit behind, but it's okay. Let's get on into the first round. And, of course, as y'all know, it's the introduction round to start things off with. So, first and foremost, let's get into the X Factors, y'all. Y'all taking each other on tomorrow night, right around this time. Let's get into it. So, first things first, Mr. Vinny, you are the away team. You have 1 minute on the clock. Tell us what you think who you think your X Factors are for this game and why. Once again, X Factors can be one side of the ball, a couple players, one part of the ball, either level of the defense. You know how it goes, man. Coaches, fans, of course. You're the away team, so not necessarily the fans this week, but you know the drill, man. So give me your X Factor or X Factors to help you guys beat the Texans on the road. You have 1 minute. Begin.
First X Factor, Pierre Fear, as usual. He's on the cover up, follow D-Hop everywhere he goes. He's been pretty good covering him the last few games. Hasn't completely shut him down, but he's done enough to get us the victory. He's coming back from his injury this week, so he's definitely glad to have him back. Second, Jonathan Williams. He will be the starting running back this week. After his first debut, big showing with us Sunday, 13 carries, 116 yards. Cannot complain. Hopefully he has another big game. Texas run defense isn't that good. J.J. Watt no longer playing, so we definitely need that run game to be on point. When the damn ball will be in the house. Texas tried to load the box on his last game. Coach told you to pass the ball, let him up for 300 yards for a touchdown. Besides that, I think the rookie corner has been Marvell Town, the Rocket Finn. Definitely didn't hold it down and keep Will Fuller out. And Willie Sweet, that was Will Fuller and the other Texans receiver, I forget his name. But the Texans got a couple good receivers over there outside of DeAndre Hopkins, so definitely looking forward to the defense playing lights out as they have been the last few games.
Okay. Good stuff there. Went a little bit over, but that's okay. I'll just make sure to give Chris a little bit more time. So, good stuff there, man. I like that good X Factor starting things off with. Let's get it. Let's keep it going. Chris, you know the drill, brother. You've done this many times, man. Let us know who are your X Factors for tomorrow night's game and why. You have 1 minute. I'll give you 1:15 on the clock. Begin.
I got the X Factor Texans would be Will Fuller. He's going to be coming back fully healthy. He should be clear of the game time system. He's cleared. That's definitely going to be a big factor. He's the fastest guy in the team. You see him burn. He can burn anybody. Then you got T.Y. Hill, who I'm not sure that he's playing. If he's not playing, then they don't really have anything. They got the running back along the match. Texans are one of the best run defenses in the NFL. I think we can easily shut down Marlon Mack if T.Y. Hill isn't playing. And we've got Hopkins. We've got a great run team ourselves. I was watching some of the Colts games. They were letting the defense run all over them. They were letting the opponent run all over them. Texans specialize in running. All they got to do is get the run offense going, catch them off guard, QT, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller's active, catch them off guard. The main threat of the Texans is T.Y. Hill. It's always been T.Y. Hill. If he's not playing, then I don't think the Colts stand much of a chance. And I think the Texans have way too many weapons to catch the Colts off guard with the strategy that Bill O'Brien's been using.
Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, this is going to be a hell of a face-off. Here we go into the lightning back and forth round. Let's get it, y'all. Starting off with you, Mr. Vinny. Let's go, man. You have 1 minute on the clock. Please, pick out a weakness. Oh, this is going to be fun. Pick out a weakness on the Texans that you feel that your Colts can exploit on the road tomorrow to help you get that victory. You have 1 minute on the clock, good sir. Begin.
Their secondary, of course. They're old, they're beat up, they're slow. The secondary is not good. T.Y. Hill has abused them year after year after year in Houston and Indianapolis. It doesn't matter where we're at. And T.Y. is playing tomorrow. That's the first. And second, their run defense, while they were okay starting off the year, they are not a dominant run defense as this guy playing. The Baltimore Ravens just put up 254 rushing yards of them just last week. I'm pretty sure Jonathan Williams and Naeem Hines and Jordan Wilkins will have no problem running the ball on this Texans defense with no J.J. Watt.
Okay. So that was 40 seconds. Chris, just let me translate that for you. He says your defense sucks. So, Chris, you have 30 seconds on the clock, man. Defend your team.
We got the best. We got Kenny Stills, Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins. We got some really great wide receivers. They're not going to know what to guard. That's their Texans. They're not focused on DeAndre Hopkins. Just focus on DeAndre Hopkins. Other side of the field, Will Fuller just burned your secondary, and he's going to go into the end of them. You focus on Will Fuller, oh, well, there goes the running back. There goes really going to run right through. He focused on. He doesn't know what to do. He's got so many weapons. He's got running back, wide receivers, tight ends. Kenny Stills, he's got Dan Fells. You've got one thing, you don't leave somebody wide open. You don't with Team Hopkins, Will Fuller's going to burn you. You put 2 guys on Will Fuller, 2 guys on Hopkins, Kenny Stills is going to get through. You go over the wide receiver, we're just going to run right through you. And you can't get the Bill Bryant uses all the weapons that he has and focuses on the weapons that he has. We should definitely be able to decimate your defense.
Oh my gosh. I'll give you a full minute to respond, Vinny, because that was, I love it, y'all. Y'all go back and forth. Chris, you know the drill, man. It is now your turn. Pick out a weakness on the Texans. On the Colts that you feel that your Texans can exploit to help you guys win the game at home tomorrow night. You have 1 minute on the clock, good sir. Begin.
I think the weakness is probably I watched some of the games the Colts are playing. They were not able to stop the short passes. All you got to do is just go with the short passes, throw it to QCs, throw it to some of the tight ends, just go down the field, first down, short passes, short running, just get the first down, get down the field, and get in the end zone. As long as you're not throwing deep shots, getting pissed off, and getting lost in the sack and turning the ball over, just go down the field as much as you can, and we should be good.
Check you out. Alrighty, well, you heard what he said right now, Vinny. He said your defense sucks worse than my defense. So, Vinny, you have 1 minute on the clock, man. Defend your team.
Well, first off, the Colts are 28-8 all time against the Texans. Just fuck there. You guys don't be the culture. We've beaten the last 3 games straight, including the playoff game to send us to the AFC. But anyways, T.Y. Hilton will definitely play. He will definitely ban up that secondary. That's without question. You were right about our defense in the short passes. That's where we lack the most. Short passes to the tight ends across the middle. But the defense is going to pick that up. Darius Leonard's been playing lights out. Bobby Okereke, the rookie linebacker, has been playing pretty good. I think we will run all over you guys. You guys are all banged up just as well. Justin Houston, 6 sacks straight in his last 6 games. Deshaun Watson took 6 sacks to the Ravens yesterday. Whose pass rush is pretty good, but I don't think they're better than us. Putting hands on Deshaun Watson will be the key to the game, and I believe we're going to do that because he likes to hold on to the ball too long before he throws, which will lead to sacks and turnovers, which will lead to a coach victory. I see us blowing y'all out the same way we blew out the Jaguars just under.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get into the game plan. So you guys already started to get into the game plan a little bit, so let's go ahead and go there right now. Final round. Let's get into the game plan. So, first and foremost, Vinny, once again, you are the away team, so we'll start off with you, man. Give us the game plan for your Colts to go on down to Texas tomorrow, go on down to Houston, and get that victory. You have 1 minute on the clock. What do you guys have to do? And, of course, if you'd like to at the end, throw in your final score. You don't have to give a final score because I know some people are superstitious, and that's okay. However, if you want to give your final score, do me a favor and let everybody know here what you think your final score for tomorrow will be after your game plan. You have 1 minute on the clock, good sir. Begin.
Conference games are always tough, so I'm going to start off with a prediction. I think the score will be 24-17, Colts win. Game plan, defensively, like I said, stop DeAndre Hopkins. Carlos Hyde has had a pretty good season, but we have a very, very good run defense. He will not run the ball on us. I believe we held him to under 50 yards the last time we played him or something of that nature. But stopping DeAndre Hopkins will be the key to beating the Texans defensively. DeAndre Hopkins is all they have. Will Fuller, He hasn't played much. He's always hurt up and down. He actually played the last time we played him, but he left the game early with a hamstring injury or something of that nature. I can't remember exactly what it was. Hamstring, all these receivers have been playing the Colts, so we're not much worried about what they can do outside of DeAndre Hopkins. None of them are the killers that he is. Offensively, run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. No J.J. Watt, Braden Smith, and Mark Lewis should be able to open up plenty of lanes for Jonathan Williams to run through. I think we have a very good game coming up, so I think the Colts are going to be the victors.
Oh, boy, I like that. Okay, so real quick, Chris, let me know, man, in 30 seconds, let me know, what do you think of his game plan? Do you think, you know what, that's actually a pretty good game plan. You know what, I would do that against us. Or, no, man, you're delusional, get up out of here, this is not going to happen. What do you think?
I think it's a pretty good game plan. The main thing I want to know is Bill O'Brien plays conservative. I feel like it could be one of those games. He was 4 against the Saints, he was 4 against the Patriots. He has it in the bag, and then he chokes it in the final moment. If we lose, I feel like it's going to be like that. It's not going to be a blowout. I feel the Texans need to avoid taking a field goal, taking 3 points. They need to make sure they get the first down and watching they should not run the ball. If he can just focus on all those wide receivers, Stills, Fuller, Hopkins, try to catch him off guard, not know who to throw to, get the defense all scrambled up, and then I'll just keep going down the field. I think we can do this. Just make sure you don't take field goals, because you take a field goal instead of a touchdown, it's going to come back to bite us. So keep getting the first down, just go down the field.
Okay, well, you pretty much combined your, and I like that. That was good. You combined your thoughts about. You combined, your what you thought about his game plan along with,
game plan.
Yeah, with your game plan. So here's what we're gonna do. That was cool. So let's go ahead and do the same thing right on back. So with that said, going back your way, Vinny, you go ahead and defend your team, and then, of course, talk about his game plan and whether you think it's actually pretty good or no, it's not going to happen. What do you think?
Well, if their game plan is to just try to pass the ball all around the field, they're making the game very easy for us. That means we don't have to worry much about the run game, and we can only rush 3 and let everybody else get back and cover, whether in man or in zone coverage. So I hope that your game plan is to throw the ball 50 times. That's going to make it very easy for us to pick Deshaun Watson off and put hands on him. The offensive line that the Texans have is pretty beat up, too. I believe they have a couple guards and tackles that are questionable to handle or not playing tomorrow. So defensively, it's going to be very important to put hands and pressure on Deshaun Watson. He's a very, very, very good quarterback. Very versatile, dual threat, running and throwing. So it's best to keep him contained in the backfield and not to let him get out and run the ball around. I think their game plan is the best that they can do for the situation and the circumstances. They can't do this, so they try their best.
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, can we get a hand clap? Gentlemen, shake virtual hands. That was awesome. Oh my gosh, that was a primetime face-off. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, that was a treat, and I hope you enjoyed it. So there's only one more thing to do, guys. Just one last thing to do now before this segment is over for the night, and that, of course, is to hear what the listeners, or to see what the listeners have, or who the listeners have selected. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get on into it, y'all. So, you heard all the points from both these gentlemen here, and it's all time to take a look now at who you, the listeners, chose to win tomorrow night's game. And the results are in. And here we go. Alrighty. Thank you all for voting. Once again, we got 2 more primetime face-offs coming up, so get on over to IE Sports Radio, of course, at IE Sports Radio. IE Sports Radio on Twitter at IE Sports Radio. Scroll down, cast your votes. Thank you for everybody who voted in this voting poll. And, of course, for everybody who's voting in the upcoming voting polls. Appreciate y'all. And thank you so much for everybody who's voted in the past as well. So, here we go. And with 57% of the votes, you, the listeners, are going with the Indianapolis Colts to win this thing on the road tomorrow. My gosh, 57%. Vinny, give me your thoughts, man. The listeners pick.
They know. The listeners know. They understand. They've seen. They've watched. The Texans have nothing for it. I'm not saying we're going to steamroll them, but we're going to beat them bad. It's going to be very convincing that we are the team to beat in the AFC South. It will and always belong to the Indianapolis Colts.
Chris, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's going to be a tough game. I want to point out that they lose the Texans when they went for on fourth down and gave us the ball back in field goal range to win the game. I mean, I'm just saying, they made mistakes and cost themselves the game before, and they only beat us by, one touchdown. They're not going to steamroll us. They've never steamrolled us. It's going to be a pretty close game.
Oh, yeah, all right.
I agree.
It's going to be a good one. So with that said, y'all, we got to move it to the next segment real quick. But I do want to say real fast, thank you, gentlemen, for both being on the show tonight. That was absolutely awesome. Vinny, where can these diehard Colts fans listening all over the place find you, man?
And I appreciate you. I'm out of D.C. Any Colts fans listening, we can link up if you're in the area. You can find me on Twitter at Run the Damn Balls. That's Run the Damn Balls. Spelled BALI. Somebody just put a hand. So it's Run the Damn Ball. BALI.
And there we have it. Of course, Mr. Chris, where can all these diehard Texans fans find you on Twitter?
Chris _Ketchum, capital C, capital K. I post updates on Texans. I live tweet Texans game all the time. I try to live tweet Saints games also. Try to keep up with what's going on in the division and stuff. Also follow the Astros, sometimes Rockets. So if you need any Houston sports info, hit me up.
I'm loving it, man. Hey, great stuff as always. Really appreciate you, and thanks again, gentlemen. Both of you, thank you so very much. God bless you both and your families, man. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and hey, best of luck tomorrow night, gentlemen. We're going to have a good battle tomorrow night, and I'll be tweeting you both, man. Have a good one, and we'll take care, and we'll talk to you next time around, guys.
I appreciate you for having me on. Chris, I'm going to follow you, man. Thanks. Got being back on here again.
Awesome, man. You guys are very welcome. Once again, and thank you for making this show even better every time, guys. So appreciate you, Vinny. Looking forward to have you back very soon. Chris, you already know, man. We'll have you back on very soon as well, man. Take care once again. God bless you and your families both. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, y'all. Bye. All right, y'all. With that said, once again, a big round of applause for those guys, man. That was awesome. So, with that said, we can take us on a short break, and when we get back, it's time for Prime Time Face-Off number 2. Oh, it's going to be a good one. Niners and Packers. Oh, my. Here we go. You're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
My NBA college basketball fans out there, tired of hearing about just the dramatic stuff in the basketball world, tired of hearing about what such and such wore tonight and not about the game. Hey, leave all of that alone, because on Wednesday nights I got this show called Fast Break with Phil Jones here on the IE Sports Radio. And all we talk about is straight basketball, from where it comes down to the NBA, the NCAA, and even the WNBA. I don't discriminate. I give all my NBA, my basketball, whatever you want with sports, to the slam dunks, to the three-pointers, to the teardrops, to the game winners. I'm there. I'm speaking about it. I have a debate. I have my panel. I got a squad that rolls in. And we're going to be talking mad sports. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're going to be talking about even the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to be talking about who's the top team out there in the NBA. So, tired all the drama. Tired all the heat wear today. What what kind of shoes he had. Forget all that. Just come over. Listen to Fast Break with Phil Jones here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, y'all. So, yo, tune in.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development. But we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest donors. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide.
On the BS3 Sports Show.
Welcome to the BS3 Sports Podcast. We hope your experience with us is amazing. Sports talk, comedy, social issues, and more. BS3 is the best source.
Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back, IE Sports Radio listeners. Welcome back, y'all. This has been a fun start already to the show tonight. My gosh, if that first primetime face-off didn't get you hyped up, I don't know what will. Maybe this primetime face-off will, but I'll tell you what, this is going to be a fun one. We have a brand newcomer, yet again, like we did in the last segment with an old-timer. Nothing against Chris, he's a great guy. Not an old-comer at all, but I'm just saying he's been a part of the show. And tonight we have a newcomer mixed with a newcomer who has seriously grown her roots into IE Sports Radio within a month. I'm dead serious, yo. she is as IE Sports Radio as IE Sports Radio gets, and I'm so glad to have her a part of it. But tonight I'm glad to bring aboard another new face, and this guy, man, is awesome. I spoke with him a few minutes ago. Glad to have him here on air, and honestly, he seems like somebody who's going to be hopefully all around this show constantly, and I'm looking forward to promoting his podcast as well, because that's right, y'all, he is also a podcast, whatever you want to say, host, and somebody who pushes out his own content. So glad to have him here. He's a fellow podcaster, if you will, and glad to have him here. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on into the face-off, and of course, the introductions. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Primetime Face-Off number 2. It is the Green Bay Packers taking on the undefeated San Francisco 49ers. Let's get it. For his first time here on the show, ladies and gentlemen, representing the away team, he is, without a doubt, a die-hard Packers fan, and simply seems to me like he is just the OG. I don't care if it's 47 below. I'm going to go out there with no shirt on at Lambeau and get down with my fellow cheeseheads. It seems to me like he's just one of those true diehard, ladies and gentlemen. The man has his own podcast, so I'm glad to have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, he is, and I want to make sure I get this right, because once again, I just put the tweet out right now. He is host of the G-Spot Packers podcast, and without a doubt, y'all, a die-hard Packers fan. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming here for his first time, but hopefully many, many more to come. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. Brian Rushley. What's going on, Brian? How you doing, man?
I'm doing very good. Thank you for that awesome introduction. And cold game in Lambeau is the only way to watch football. Go Pack, go!
You guys are nuts. I mean, seriously, the only fans that are more nuts than you guys are actual nuts. The Buckeyes. Get it?
Well, thank you. I'll take it as a compliment.
You're very welcome. I just want to put the laugh button. Okay, so thank you. Somebody laughed. Okay, cool. Anyway, that was pretty cheesy. Get it? Anyway, okay, I'm sorry. I've had enough. Okay, anyway, with that said, somebody who is also on the East Coast. That's right, y'all. As I said before and many times, it is crazy when you find a fan that is just not that is not, where they are geographically, where their team is geographically. But I'll tell you what, she's amazing. Her family apparently they've passed on that 49ers love to her, and they're all the way from the East Coast. I'll tell you something, she's without a doubt a true diehard. Glad to have her here on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman needs no introduction, but she's going to get one anyway. All the way from the East Coast, she is without a doubt one of the biggest Niner fans we will probably ever meet, repping it from about almost 3,000 or somewhere right around 3,000 miles away from the actual stadium itself. She is a super duper diehard Frisco fan, and she loves her football. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back for I forgot how many times in the last 2 months, but I'm glad to have her back here again. Ladies and gentlemen, the woman with one name, welcoming Miss Jess. What's going on, Jess?
What's up, Larry? Thanks for having me back. Great to be on. Go Niners.
Glad to have you back as well. Let's have some fun. So, here we go. Starting things off here for tonight. Let's have a little bit of fun with the X Factors. Y'all know the drill. So, Brian, you'll start us off, good sir. Let us know some X Factors. Who, why, what, when, where. I want X Factors, and I want them now. You have 1 minute on the clock, good sir. Give me your X Factors. Who you think will help you guys pull off that victory in Levi Stadium, a place, let's just say, in a geographic location that Aaron Rodgers knows all too well. Start us off, man. You have 1 minute. Begin.
All right, I would start off with Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to leave him for later. I think this game is going to be really focused on Aaron Jones. What he's been able to do this season out of the backfield, especially pass catching, is where I think they're going to try and attack the 49ers defense, get him on some of those linebackers and let him make plays, similar to how the 49ers used Telvin Coleman. And that's where I think the X factor on offense is going to be. On defense, I think the way the 49ers played against the Cardinals, they were kind of a little loose and risky with the ball. I think that's going to play well into the hands of our secondary. I think we've got some playmakers there. They are young, they're cocky, and they're going to get after it. And if you let them get their hands on the ball with Kevin King, Jair Alexander, that's going to be a problem. And turnovers, that's what solves most of the games, and that's how the outcome turns out. And that's what I'm thinking the Packers are going to do against the 49ers. Again, they started out hot, the 49ers did this season. I think as of late, some injuries are catching up to them with Kittle, Sanders, Breida, those guys all possibly missing the game this week. That plays well into the Packers and their defense. I think they have a good shot against a team that's cooling off a little bit from their hot start this season.
Oh, boy. You just opened up a can of worms, didn't you, Brian? I'm just kidding. Here we go. It was going to be nice. Now it's not. Now I'm just kidding. Alrighty. Hey, good stuff, Brian. I like that. Okay, so starting things off here for the Niners, of course. We've got the X Factors there. I'll give you about a minute and 30 seconds right around there, Jess, since That was around the time where Mr. Brian took. So, start us off, Jess. Who are your X Factors? And it could be the home crowd as well. Let us know your X Factors for Sunday night for your Niners to possibly, or shall I say possibly, to help you guys win this thing on Sunday night. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Begin.
Well, I think the X Factors on offense is going to have to be Jimmy G. He's going to have to continue to do what he's been doing, winning football games. The X factors on defense are going to have to be our front four. We have to contain Aaron Rodgers because he can get out of the pocket just like the best of them. And that's about it. And the crowd for sure has to be in it, and I know they will be. Levi's has been rocking for every home game.
I love it because Jess is the person to literally make like a gigantic thing into like 30 seconds and then still be hitting it hard, like as if it was like 1 minute, 30 seconds. Yeah, you're crazy, Jess. But, okay, well, there are the X Factors for both of these teams. Let's go ahead and get on in now to the lightning round, back and forth, and have some fun with the weaknesses. Oh, this is going to be fun. Brian, start us off, good sir. Let us know a weakness, or pick out a weakness or weaknesses on the 49ers that you feel that your Packers can exploit to help you guys get the victory on the road on Sunday night. You have 1 minute. Begin.
Absolutely. Offensively, I think against the 49ers defense, the Cardinals were a challenge for them to stop. So hopefully the Packers will take a little bit of their playbook, spread out that 49ers defense, make sure to try and run out of that formation to keep the defense honest. But really the play action out of that was kind of something the 49ers defense has struggled with, and they're able to get a few guys open with on those linebackers in the middle of the field. So I'm hoping that hopefully they move Devontae Adams in the slot, or Jimmy Graham kind of sitting in the middle of the field with some open looks. And then for the defense, with Staley and that offensive line, it's good, but Staley might not be there. And the Smith brothers on the Packers defense have just wreaked havoc on quarterbacks. I think that's a weakness. If the 49ers get behind at all in the game, it's going to be a long day if they have to start throwing the ball and take care of that Packers pass rush. It's pretty fearsome.
At the buzzer beater. I mean, you have to be a Packers fan because Aaron Rodgers knows how to throw a Hail Mary at the buzzer. So I'm just saying, Brian has to be a Packers fan because I'm just saying that, he's probably got to know what his quarterback knows. So with that said, he's mimicking his quarterback right now, guys. So, okay, with that said, Jess, you know the drill. Actually, you know what? No. You know the drill, of course. I don't know how I was going to skip this, but you have 30 seconds on the clock. Defend your team.
Well, I could see where you're going with our offensive line, but when Joe Staley and Mike McGlinchey were out, our two backups, which were actually our fourth and fifth on the roster, came in and did a really good job. And Kyle Shanahan knows how to scheme, to help people out. So, whether Joe Staley's in or not, I don't think he's going to be in. I think we'll be just fine, and we always have that next man up mentality. So, bring on the Pack.
Right at the buzzer as well. I was gonna ring it, but you got a couple seconds for it. So, alrighty, you know the drill now, Jess. Now it's your turn. What's a weakness that you feel that your Niners can exploit with these Packers coming up on Sunday night? You have a full minute. Begin.
Any team who faces our front four on defense is going to have a problem. So I'm going to say the Packers offensive line. D Ford might be out, but we have the manpower to step up and get after Aaron Rodgers. So I think in this case, it's definitely going to be the offensive line because we have probably the best front four in the NFL.
Look at that. Of course, led by Bosa, who has been every bit as advertised. So, you have 30 seconds on the clock, Brian. Defend your team.
All right. Aaron Jones has had a great season so far. I think if they spread it out wide, get those linebackers out a little bit wide, he can find some lanes in there to run. And for pass blocking, we have some pretty good tackles on our side with David Bakhtiar and Brian Bulaga. I know Bosa's having an amazing year. I think we're going to learn something from playing his brother, the Chargers, a couple weeks back, and hopefully they'll take something from that and be able to handle Nick.
I'm loving it, man. You guys certainly have every bit of an offense to handle this tough defense. But my gosh, we're talking about the Niners defense who dethroned the Patriots defense at one point in the season. I don't know if it's back that way or however it is now. But I'll tell you what, you guys, both of these teams are just something else, man. I'm gonna be so excited to watch them compete. But both of these teams are just the real deal, man. So I'm telling you, this is such an anticipated game. So, you know the drill now. Both of you guys kind of both got the, you guys both got it there. So, we got the weaknesses out the way and the good stuff. So, so we already went, Brian, of course, picking out his weaknesses. Then Jess came back. And then Jess, pretty much said hers, and then Brian defended his team. So we are now back to the final round here. This, of course, is the fire round. This is always fun here because we have the game plans, guys. And this is the fun part because, of course, it's all fun, but I'm just saying, this is the part where we can really start to get excited with what's to come with the entire game on Sunday. Kind of just tie it all together. So let's do this. Brian, start us off, good sir. Once again, as the away team, let us know your game plan for Sunday night. Tell us what your Packers have to do to win this thing on Sunday night. All the goods, every bit of the game plan you want to put in there. And, of course, at the end of it, throw in your final score. You don't have to if you don't want to, of course. It's, totally up to you. Some people are superstitious, but throw in your game plan. Well, say your game plan, and then, of course, give your final score at the end. You have 1 minute. Begin.
Okay, I think the Packers to start out their game plan needs to be to take the ball on the kickoff. I think they're a better team when they play with the lead. They need to run the ball to get that 49ers defense honest and to slow down that pass rush. But it's going to be quick passing outside, get that defense spread out, and that's how they're going to have to attack that 49ers defense. On defense, playing against the 49ers, if they can slow down that running game, kind of how they slowed down just enough for the Panthers with Christian McCaffrey. If they get the 49ers passing the ball, our pass rush is great, and we have a very young secondary that loves getting their hands on the ball and making turnovers, and I think that's how they win the game. Final score, I think it comes down late to a field goal, similar to the outcome last year, so I'm going to go 30-27.
Oh, look at that. Good timing, too. So, okay, Jess, you know the drill now. Go ahead and talk about your thoughts. Give us 30 seconds. Give us your thoughts. Do you like Brian's game plan? Would you say, you know what, I would do that against us? Or, no, just not going to happen. Stop it while you're ahead. No. What do you think, Jess? 30 seconds.
Well, like I always say, everybody has a good game plan, but, it's just not going to work.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be fun. Well, here we go. Let's start us off and do the dang thing. Jess, it is now your turn. Give us a minute of your game plan, what you think your team needs to do to get it done, and then, of course, a final score at the end. If you would like, you have 1 minute. Begin.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the coaching staff went back to the Packers film from 3 weeks ago when they lost to probably one of the most inconsistent teams in the NFL, the Los Angeles Chargers. So if we kind of do that and, run the ball, Jimmy G has one of the quickest releases in the game and get that out to our receivers and Ross Dwelly and just keep Aaron Rodgers off the field, I think we'll be set. And final score, I'm going to go 31-21 Niners.
Absolutely. I like that. Okay, well, both of you guys have really good game plans. Brian, you heard what Jess had to say. You have 30 seconds. Do you think her game plan is, you like it? Or you like, stop it, Jess, like, really stop it? What do you think?
I like the game plan. Definitely running the ball against the Packers is what a team needs to do. I think the only thing I got to rebuttal on that is that Matt LaFleur, as our coach, is very familiar with a lot of coaches on the 49ers staff. I think that's an X factor along with Aaron Rodgers that's going to help us kind of tear up that game plan a little bit.
I'll tell you what.
And it's called adjustments, and Kyle Shanahan is probably one of the best in the game in doing so.
Oh.
So let's roll.
Look at that. Well, first things first, I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat room, by the way. We have a full house tonight. My gosh. Big shout out to Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. Mr. Ashton, of course, Mr. Ben White, and Mr. BS3 Radio himself, Ben Sutter III. So big shout out to all of y'all. Terrence says here, Green Bay versus San Francisco. He says, two teams that have drastically improved compared to last year. This could be an NFC Championship preview. I have the 49ers winning a close one. It may have to come down to a game-winning field goal. Wow, since he went in your favor, Jess, what do you think about that?
I do like that. I don't know if Robbie Gould is going to play, but I hope Chase is up to the challenge if and when it does come to that.
Okay, well, before we get to the listeners' vote, Brian, your thoughts on Terrence's comment there?
I think he's pretty close. It'll be a close game, but as I mentioned, I think the field goal will go the other way. And, you know, hopefully for both of our fan bases, in January we'll be playing in Lambeau Field.
I like it. I absolutely like it. You guys are something, man. This is definitely going to be, both of you teams are something. I'm loving every bit of what you guys got going on. So, y'all are awesome. Really appreciate y'all so much for being on the show tonight. And once again, y'all, this has been awesome. So, with that said, there's only one more thing to do. And I think y'all know what that is. And that is, of course, get the listeners' votes. So, the votes are now officially in, as a matter of fact. Yes, they are. The votes are in, and we are ready to talk about who you, the listeners, have chosen to win on Sunday Night Football. So it was a close one in the actual face-off. Yeah, it was awesome. And I just got to give props to both of you. Before we even get there real fast, I just want to say this is going to be a very good football game. In my final weigh-in at the end of the show, it's going to be hard for me to pick one of these teams. Both these teams are absolutely tough, and I'm really looking forward to this game on Sunday night. However, there can only be one winner unless, you know, you're the Cardinals and the Lions, you want to tie at the beginning of the season, you know. But anyway, you know, there can only be one winner, apparently. Sometimes not. But with that said, by the way, big shout out to Miss Meg Renee. She a day ago put in the Twitter poll, "I'm smelling an upset." Uh-oh, is she talking about the Packers? Because it's kind of hard to say upset when you talk about the Packers, but they are the underdog if you think about it. Because once again, the Niners, they are no longer undefeated. But I know I said that in the beginning of the show, my bad. But, well, they still look pretty damn good. And let's just say it's going to be a close one either way. So, I'm loving the voting poll. And honestly, I think the game is going to be just as close to the voting poll. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. And with 52% of the votes, 52 to 48, y'all. This is exactly as close as I thought the voting poll would be. And, well, let's just say it. This game is going to be, I think, as close as the voting poll. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe even closer. You, the listeners, have selected the San Francisco 49ers to win this thing.
All right, they voted correctly.
Oh my gosh. All right, so quick and dirty, Jess, what are your thoughts on the listeners' vote?
I like it. They voted correctly. They're smart.
They're smart. Brian, what do you think about the listeners, man?
We'll see on Sunday. I appreciate the support from the voters. I'm glad it was close, and hopefully we'll be taking home the first place in the NFC come Sunday night.
That's right. If you guys win it, you guys will be on top. So this is going to be a good one. Big shout to Ken Shoot, I believe, in the chat room, says close one, and I definitely agree with that. So big shout out to everybody in the chat room tonight. Really appreciate your love and support, and it's just going to be a great battle. So I'm so excited for this one on Sunday night, and we're going to have some fun with it. So first and foremost, before we're out of here, you know I always got to give you all some love and give you all some time. So Jess, hers is going to be pretty quick and dirty because she always is, but she always has enough time as she can totally have because she's awesome. But for our first time here, and, of course, for a fellow podcast host who I'm looking forward to promoting, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mr. Brian. Brian, the floor is yours, man. Where can all these diehard Packers fans listening find you? And, of course, where can all these football fans and listeners find you and your podcast?
The podcast, you can find it at the G-Spot Packer 1 on Twitter. We're on all your podcasting sites, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, all sorts of that kind of stuff. So for all of you fans out there that voted for the Packers, go take a listen. Or if you're a 49ers fan out there that just likes to do some opposition research, feel free to take a listen. And go Pack, go.
Alrighty, man. Well, great stuff there. I'm really looking forward to having you back on the show as soon as we can get you, man, because you're the real deal and really appreciate you. So once again, thanks again for being on the show. Jess, where can all of these die-hard 49ers fans find you on Twitter if they haven't already found you?
Niner Faithful, you could find me on Twitter at JM41484. Go Niners.
Yes, she is every bit of as advertised as she gets up, ladies and gentlemen, as you know. So, once again, y'all, go check out Brian's podcast, man. The G-Spot one. Great stuff there. Gotta check it out myself. And, of course, give him a follow and give the podcast, give his, podcast follow as well as Jess. Give her a follow as well. Show her some love. Show them both some love because they did a great job tonight once again, y'all. Where's that applause button, y'all? Brian and Jess, shake virtual hands. That was awesome. I couldn't appreciate y'all more. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Larry. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
You had a great time.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you had a great time. I'm glad you both had a great time. And thanks again. So, Mr. Brian, Miss Jess, God bless you both and your families. I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful Thanksgiving next week, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. And, hey, we'll be tweeting on Sunday and have some fun there, y'all. So, anyway, take care. Have a wonderful, once again, rest of your week, and we'll talk to you. We'll hopefully look to have you back on the show very, very soon.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Take care, y'all. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. Once again, that was awesome. Once again, big round of applause for Miss Jess and Mr. Brian, man. That was awesome. Alrighty, y'all, let's go ahead and get on into the final segment of tonight's show. We have, of course, one more primetime face-off to get to, and that, of course, is Monday Night Football. Baltimore taking on the Los Angeles Rams. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get on into that final segment. But, of course, we have a commercial break to take, right? Of course, to get there, before we get there. So, anyway, y'all, this will be about 10 minutes. When we come back, we got our final primetime face-off of the night, and, of course, my final weigh-in. If the playoffs, of course, were to start tomorrow, and a little bit more fun on tonight's show. Once again, you're listening to 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. We'll be right back after this. Good evening, sports fans. This is me, your boy Larry B, bringing you yet another action-packed, wall-to-wall episode of The Defining Moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Phil Robinson here at IE Sports Radio, taking this moment to welcome you to storm down the lane on the Fast Break Show with me and my man Phil Jones right now.
Hey everybody, it's the host of the fastest show on IE Sports Radio, Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take a lap of the extra mile with me and my co-hosts Lolita Camello, Caitlin Seen, and Michael Ward as we go through all of the news and updates in NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, and more. That's the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio.
Hello, lovelies. Caitlin Seam here, host of Not What It Seems, where nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. On IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Two Wheels Wednesday with Matt White, taking you inside the pit lane of British Superbike, World Superbike, and the big one, MotoGP.
Hey everyone, this is Felicia, the First Lady of IE Sports Radio and one of your esteemed co-hosts of Ring Rambling Radio, along with Martine Sandoval and Matt Petrushka, for all of your wrestling news and talk, from everything from WWE to Ring of Honor, All Elite Wrestling, New Japan, anything you like. Be sure to catch us right here on IE Sports Radio.
Hey there, hockey fans. This is Cal Henderson
with Nico Green,
and we are welcoming you to join us on the Neutral Zone, presented by IE Sports Radio throughout the hockey season.
Buddy, let me tell you, hockey's never been hotter, and neither has the neutral zone.
You definitely don't want to miss it, so tune into youtube.com, IE Sports Radio, or IESportsRadio.com for all things that are hockey.
Hey everyone, this your boy Phil Jones, co-host of the Unfiltered Truth with Phil Robinson III. Every Monday, 3:30, 6:30, and Tuesday, 5:30, 8:30 on IE Sports Radio. We're here to give you guys nothing but Raider news, breakdowns of both sides of the game, and interviews with active and former players and NFL analysts. Because we are here to give you nothing but the unfiltered truth. We want you guys to get the real stuff. So join us every Monday night and Tuesday night on IE Sports Radio.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry, inviting you to join myself, Callum Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head primetime face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
You love racing, and we love racing. So join myself, Lolita Canelo, with my co-hosts, Daryl Kinsey Jr., Caitlin C., and Michael Ward as we talk racing on the Extra Mile here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on the IE Sports Radio Network, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Oh yeah, if you're a fan of professional wrestling, if you're a fan of WWE, if you're a fan of All Elite Wrestling, if you're a fan of the sport of professional wrestling, you're in the right place. Hello, I am the SoCal Saint, Martin Sandoval, coming to you live with Ring Rambling Radio, along with the First Lady of IE Sports Radio, Felicia, and my good brother, Matt Petrushka. It's Ring Rambling Radio, part of IE Sports Radio. Dig it!
Hello and welcome to the Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world, from the English Premier League to the World Cup to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a big fan of baseball? Well, then join us every Tuesday on the International Empire Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Brandon Buckingham. I have my co-host, Karen Rodriguez, and Blake Henley. Join me every week when we will discuss the latest in sports. See you then.
What's up, IE Sports Radio family? This is John Felipe, one half of the Brothers Blue, coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina. You can catch me on any one of those shows, on 3 and Out, on The Brothers Blue on YouTube, as well as IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Warning, warning. The following opinions are not sanctioned by IE Sports Radio. The truth is a beautiful thing. We would never twist it, nor will it ever be sugar-coated, so prepare yourself. I'm Phil Robinson, he's Phil Jones, and this is the Unfiltered Truth.
Hello, this is Michael Ward from The Extra Mile, and you're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, IE Sports Radio family, this your boy, Mr. Gumbo himself, Caleb Fat Mac Reynolds. What up? You know I'm part of the Defining Moment NBA segment and also 3 and Out. Holla at your boy from the Big Easy all the way to your front door. This is IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back and in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that commissioner's trophy when it's all said and done.
This is your Bautista, the Kurt Man. You can catch me each month alongside Vince Wright,
Sports Governor of Minnesota talking boxing on IE Sports Radio.
Hello, sports fans. This is Mike Pat, co-host of 3 and Out NFL Edition, editor of the IE Sports Radio blog, diehard Redskins fan, alumni of the Florida State University, and all-around sports fanatic. Come check out my stuff and more on IE Sports Radio, your feed for all that is sports.
Hey, this your boy Phil Jones, also the host of the Fast Break Show, with Phil Robinson III joining me as my sidekick as always. Look, we come at you guys every Friday night at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern. Look, we give you guys all the latest NBA news from NCAA as well and the WNBA. We also let you guys know pregame, injuries, whatever you need to know for basketball, for your fantasy league as well. So look, y'all tune in for the Fast Break Show every Friday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio. Y'all take care.
What's good, everybody? My name is Taryn Rodriguez, co-host for Bases Loaded. You can catch me, Brandon Buckingham, and Blake Henley on Bases Loaded at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on IE Sports Radio. It's sure to be a grand slam.
This is Matt Petrushko, one half of the Good Brothers of Ring Ramblin' Radio, with Martine Sandoval and Felicia Ruizrager, and you can catch us each month talking everything wrestling right here on IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Do you love college football? And do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college in the CCCAA and in the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS? Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Well, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. The IE Sports Radio network commercial, if you will. Tons of sports coming your way. As you heard there, 3 and Out College Edition kind of took a nosedive this year. My apologies. But as you heard my explanation at the beginning of the show, things have finally, I always say they've smoothed out and then they get crazy again. But I think finally we've all smoothed out and everything's pretty okay now. So really excited though, as I mentioned earlier, so much to come for IE Sports Radio this year, this coming year. And right now I'm loving it. We got the Hall of Fame going. By the way, y'all, if you have not voted yet, get on over to the IE Sports Radio page right now on Twitter. Don't forget to cast your vote for tonight's final primetime face-off, which, of course, is the Ravens taking on the Rams. And then cast your vote for our Hall of Famers. Tomorrow, y'all, we are less than 12 hours now. Or, no, I'm sorry, less than 24 hours from the official round of 16, if you shall say, the Sweet 16 of the IE Sports Radio 2019 Hall of Fame class will be tomorrow voted, and the top 16 will go again, and then next week, or Thanksgiving Day, we'll be down to the Elite 8, as you will, and the very next week, on December 5th, just 2 weeks from tomorrow, we'll be right in the middle of our very special special episode of The Defining Moment, where we go ahead and name the 2019 IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame class. So we're really excited about that. And got more to come, of course, with IE Sports Radio coming at you, y'all, in the coming months. We're almost to show 1,500, so really excited about that. There's so much, y'all, to get to. So we really appreciate y'all, and thank you all for being awesome. So with that said, the final primetime face-off of the evening, here we go. So the last time this guy was on the show, his Ravens were not too bad. They were definitely not what they are looked at as of right now, but they were certainly, an up-and-coming team. Here we are a few weeks later, and these Ravens are a team to be feared. Now, as for the Rams, they have been every bit of a disappointment this year. However, there's also reason to believe that they can break out and really become a dark horse in the NFC. Kind of sad to say it that way because they were not a dark horse not too long ago. But unfortunately, things happen, is what it is. But with that said, let's get on into... and the only reason why I said that is because, well, they're a dark horse because, they're not so good. So this year, could they be a late dark horse? We shall find out. We shall see. So with that said, y'all, let's get on into it tonight. And our the third and final primetime face-off of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Alrighty, representing the away team, those big bad Ravens all the way from across the country. They're flying over 3,000 miles on over here to take on these Los Angeles Rams. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back to the show for a second time, and hopefully his second time of many, many, many more. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a diehard Ravens fan, and without a doubt, just a hardcore Baltimore dude, man. Well, let's just say he's a DMV dude, because he loves his Ravens, he loves his Orioles, he loves his Terps, he loves his Wizards, as hard as that is to kind of swallow right now, because I'm a Laker fan, and it's hard to swallow anything we've done up until this point, until this year, yay. And he loves his Capitals, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, back to 3 and Out to get down in a primetime face-off involving his Baltimore Ravens. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one and the only, Mr. Scott Shaw. What's going on, Scott? How you doing this evening, man?
Hey, not a whole lot. I'm doing good. Actually, the Wizards just got a win tonight. They just beat San Antonio. They beat the Spurs. So.
I'm sorry. I guess I had to laugh.
It's hard to watch, but they have been. They've actually surprised me this year. They don't play no defense, but they can light it up offensively. So I mean.
Well, in today's game of basketball, it really pisses me off that it's a freaking.
Yeah, I like the NBA, but I'm more of a college guy just because they'll actually get down and play defense.
Yeah.
But hey, Terps are ranked in the top 10 in basketball, number 6.
And the Terps started out in football good, and then they just fell apart last year. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's every year in football, so that's nothing new.
I know, but at least your Terps are playing good, and the ladies are playing good too, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know how deep you go into the Terps, man, but our boy Taryn here is a big-time lacrosse guy, and I'll tell you what, man, you guys in lacrosse are without a doubt nobody to mess with.
Yeah, that's Maryland. Yeah, that's Maryland. You got John Hopkins, you got Maryland College. I mean, Maryland is known for lacrosse, so yeah.
I'm loving it, man. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, here for another time. Glad to have him back. He is not, as you guys know, for all of you who do know him, he is not by far, he is not a diehard LA Rams fan, but he is an LA guy. He loves Southern California. He's Southern California born and raised, a lot like myself. And what could I say? I couldn't find a Rams fan for tonight, but let's just say I found the absolute next best thing. Not trying to say that he was the last resort, but I'll tell you something. He's going to give a battle to Scott, and let's just say he's got to have a soft side for the Rams, because once again, he is an LA guy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, he is host of Set Point here on IE Sports Radio, our brand new volleyball, our college volleyball show, and some professional volleyball show here on IE Sports Radio. He, of course, is my co-host on The Defining Moment. And ladies and gentlemen, he's just a diehard sports guy all the way around. Soon to be Long Beach State alum, current student there, doing his thing in journalism. He is a writer for The Pilot, covering lacrosse in Orange County. And what can I say, man? The guy's the real deal all the way around. We're glad to have him here on the team at IE Sports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. What's going on, Taryn? How you doing tonight, man?
Hello, football fans. It is great to be back on 3 and Out. It is great to be with you all. I'm going to say this. My brother is actually an LA Rams fan. And me being a Chargers fan, I don't necessarily hate the Rams. I just like the Chargers a bit more, because I've basically grown up with the Chargers more. But the Rams are definitely a second favorite to me if I had to pick another team, considering the Chargers are just doing so bleh this year. So, yeah. And all I gotta say when it comes to the West Coast is What it do, baby?
Well, let's get to it, man. Let's get to the rounds. So, first and foremost, well, see, because I knew you had a soft side. You had some kind of a soft side for the Rams. I mean, me even being a Raider fan, I mean, you guys are in Cali, so as much as I can't stand the Chargers or the Rams, I mean, I got to show them some love some way or another because they're in Cali. I mean, when all else fails, got to have a Cali team at least. But is what it is. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get on into, of course, tonight's primetime face-off. And we're talking about those dirty birds who are just, bird is the word, yo. I'm being real. This team is ridiculous, and they're getting down. And the Rams, they're anything but impressive. But once again, could they be a dark horse? Once again, when they were not a dark horse last year, when they were on top of the NFL or close to it. So let's go ahead and get on to it, y'all. The third, let me go ahead and redo that. And now for the final primetime face-off of the evening, primetime face-off number 3. Monday Night Football. The Los Angeles Rams will host the Baltimore Ravens in quite the battle. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it! All right, here we go. Let's jump on into that first round, of course, of X Factors. Y'all know the drill. You know how it goes. Both of you have done this before. Let's go ahead and jump on into the X Factors. So, we'll be starting with you, Mr. Scott, and your X Factors for this game, of course. You know how it goes. It could be a certain player, a couple players, one side of the ball, the other side of the ball, the other side of the ball, a certain group of players, secondary, linebackers, D-line, offensive line, you know, receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, running backs, fullbacks, whatever you want to call it, man. Let us know X Factors for Monday night's game to help you guys defeat these Los Angeles Rams on the road. You have 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
Yeah, I believe that the X factor for this one's going to be the offensive line and how they can how Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, designed schemes to take Aaron Donald out of the game, because they're going to have to take Aaron Donald out of the game. You can't let him wreck the game, and in that aspect, Greg Roman's a lot like Belichick is, as in making them fight left-handed. So they're going to throw, I would assume, doubles and triples at Donald, just to try to stave him off a bit. I mean, you can't stop Aaron Donald. He's gonna do his thing, but you can't let him change the game, though. And then, so yeah, I would say that it's definitely the offensive line that is the X factor in the blocking schemes that the offensive coordinator, Greg Roman or Giro, dial up.
I like it. Right at the buzzer, man. You got a couple seconds to spare. Good timing. Great stuff there, Mr. Scott. All right. You know the drill, Saren. You now have a minute on the clock. Give us your X Factors for the Rams the X Factors will help these Rams defeat these very tough Baltimore Ravens coming up on Monday night. You have 1 minute on the clock, good sir. Begin.
Okay, so the Rams defense as a whole is going to need to step up. You know, they're going to need to do a lot in order to solve the mystery of Lamar Jackson. If they try to go at him, you know, he'll pass the ball, and you know, Lamar Jackson has actually passed the ball really well. He can sling the ball really well, and you know, he has lots of options like Hollywood, Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews, even Mark Ingram. And if they try to spread, you know, Lamar will just bulldoze his way. So it's pretty much pick your poison for the Rams. Jared Goff really needs to step his game up, as well as Todd Gurley. They don't look like the dominant offensive forces like in the past, and you know, it'll be interesting to see how that Rams offense does, especially if Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks don't go. So I also expect Gerald Everett and Cooper Kupp and Josh Reynolds to step up as well offensively.
Well, I think you guys hit it on the head. That I like it. Scott said you're not going to stop Aaron Donald. You're not. This guy's a freaking monster, and you can slow him down, but you're not going to stop him. And I like how, Taryn, you rebounded with the same thing with Jackson, the mystery that is Lamar Jackson, because that is a wonderful way of explaining it, because this dude is something else. And I love what he said in his interview, or he said before in his interviews, that he hates running. I mean, isn't that kind of funny? Like, Scott, you've heard it before, right? You've heard him say that he hates running the ball?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's more, he's just tired of hearing about it. The kid's as humble as he can be, he really is, but he just gets tired of hearing the whole, that's why, I mean, he said multiple times this year, I'm not doing bad for a running back, like, that's what everyone calls him, so I think he kind of just rides with it at this point. He's trying to silence everyone for that, a lot of people, because I was a big Lamar guy. I was a big fan of his in college. I watched him a lot in college because I like his style of play. I thought it was very difficult for a defense to defend. People get it twisted. Lamar wasn't a running quarterback in college per se. He threw the ball 40 times a game. He's in a threat offense, NFL offense, so he knows the reads. People just didn't give him enough credit, but even me being the big Lamar fan that I was, even prior to the draft, I would have never guessed year 2 he would have been this advanced and in the MVP hunt. I could have never guessed it. It's he's special. He's different. All of those words just match him perfectly. I've watched a lot of football, and I've never seen that run he had against Cincinnati, it was Cincinnati, probably one of the worst teams in NFL history, but that spin move, man, I haven't seen a run like that in my life. That was one of the best pure runs I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you have Marshawn Lynch against the Saints in beast mode. There's a few that come to mind, but that run there was different. It was definitely different. It was a counterclockwise spin. I played football for a lot of years. Spin moves, going to the outside are a normal thing, but he did an inverted spin. That was a counterclockwise spin back to the inside of the field, which is just, like I said, different. It's different.
He's amazing. He's without a doubt amazing, and honestly, I love this guy bringing to the table, man. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get on into the lightning round and go back and forth. So, Mr. Scott, start us off, man. Tell us your weaknesses that you could pick out on the Rams right now. The Rams are definitely not the team they were last year. Let's go ahead and get that out the way real quick. But with that said, tell us a weakness or weaknesses that your Ravens can exploit, man, to help you guys earn that victory on Monday night. You have 1 minute. Begin.
I think the biggest difference in the game that we can exploit with them is just trying to get to the edge. And trying to get to the outside. I think that our offense is faster than our defense is. I think it's going to be speed. I think you'll see a lot more Justice Hill this game, which is a running back out of Oklahoma State. He is I would say he is Darren Sproles, but a tad bit bigger, maybe a little bit more athletic than Darren Sproles was. I think they'll use him a lot getting to the edge. And again, it's just, Lamar's a walking mismatch, so that's going to be it right there. It's just going to be using our speed to try to beat them, because I just don't think they're as fast as our offense is.
I like it, and with 9 seconds to spare, man, good stuff there. Okay, so Taryn, you have 30 seconds on the clock, man. Tell us, basically, defend your team. You have 30 seconds. Begin.
So for the Rams, this is a huge game for them. They really got to play pretty much flawless against the Ravens, because the Ravens are pretty much looking like one of the better teams in the AFC. They can't really afford to make too many mistakes. If they make 1 or 2 mistakes, it pretty much spells doom. And Jared Goff has to play better, because the Rams aren't throwing money at him for nothing.
Absolutely, great job there. I love it, because he didn't even defend his team. He was like, no, I can't defend them right now. It's okay. So, Darren, your turn, man. What is a weakness that you feel? It's kind of hard to pick out a weakness on this team right now. What is a weakness that you feel that your Rams can exploit to help beat these guys? Well, honestly, upset them on Monday night. You have 1 minute. Begin.
So I think the weakness for the Ravens, it's tough to say, considering the Ravens seem like a complete team, to be honest. However, I think if they turn if their run defense just steps up and they turn Lamar Jackson into a runner and they're just better prepared for it, then I think that could be a weakness for the Ravens. And Jalen Ramsey's also going to need to come up big, considering he hasn't really done all that much ever since coming to Los Angeles, so I expect him to come up big and, give Lamar Jackson a tough time whenever he wants to pass. But Aaron Donald, Clay Matthews, and everyone else is going to need to step up, especially on the run defense. And this is a huge game for the Rams because they can't afford to fall further back of the AFC West NFC West and the NFC wild card because, next week could be a trap game for the Rams as well, but they can't afford to look that far ahead. They got to play pretty much sound, solid defense.
Absolutely. Good stuff there. Okay, so you have 30 seconds on the clock, Mr. Scott. Defend your team.
I can point out a weakness on our team. It's just I know last week we had a ton of sacks, and we finally it's a pass rush. And the way to do, we're just going to have to do like we did last week, have great coverage with Adam Peters, getting Jimmy Smith back, and get pass rush through our coverage. When you got to pull the ball down 3 times as a quarterback, and then it makes it rough. It makes it hard. So we got to, that would be our biggest weakness, and the way to do that is just keep on covering like we've been covering to generate a pass rush.
Okay, good stuff there. So let's go ahead and get on into the fire round, back and forth, final round here. Let's go ahead and talk about your guys' game plan. So we'll start with Mr. Scott. You have 1 minute on the clock, good sir. Tell us your game plan for the Ravens. What do your Ravens have to do? What is it your Ravens got to do to defeat these Rams on the road and advance to 9-2 on Monday? And of course, if you'd like to, give us a final score. I know some people are superstitious. You don't not necessarily have to give us a final score if you don't want to, but feel free to give us a final score at the end of your game plan, and then we will go, of course, to the back and forth. So you have 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
I think the game plan is going to be just like the game plan is every other week for the Ravens. It's going to be take what they give you. If they're giving you the pass, throw the ball. If they're giving you the run the ball. We've been actually pretty balanced. Even though we lead the league in rushing, we have about 52% to 48%, which isn't a bad or rush to pass. So I think that it's just take what they give you. I don't see any way. I honestly, I'm not. Can't say I'm too worried about the Rams. They don't have if Brandon Cooks don't play, he's been hurt all year with concussions. And Robert Woods don't play. The offense just don't have a lot of firepower. With Gurley being the way he is, and I'll say the final score is going to be. I'll say 27-14 Ravens.
I like that. My bad, by the way, man. The buzzer was supposed to ring right there. I was actually a premature buzzer, so my apologies. But good stuff there. And okay, I like the score. I like that right there at the ending. Good job. Okay, so Taryn, it is your turn, man. Give us 30 seconds now about what do you think? Do you think that Scott's game plan is actually pretty legit? Was that something you would do against the Rams too? Or are you like, no, not even, not going to happen? You got 30 seconds, man. Let us know.
If you're the Ravens, you're pretty much just attacking the Rams head on, and the Rams pretty much gotta hit back, and they gotta continue to whenever the Ravens score, they have to score. It may say it's cliche, but they gotta pretty much put points on the board, and even if it's just a field goal, and even if you have to roll the dice and go for it on 4th down to get 7 instead of 3, but the Rams just need to score ASAP and just not make excuses and just play sound, solid offense as well.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get on in now into your thoughts, Darren. What is your game plan for the Rams to defeat those tough Ravens coming up on Monday night? How are they going to go about it? Give us your game plan. Of course, at the end, give us your final score if you would like. You have 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
Again, it's going to be a really tough uphill climb for the Rams. They're just not as good as last year. But if I had to pick a game plan, I'd say they have to start strong. Because if they get the early momentum going, whether it's like an interception or a touchdown or something big going, offensively or defensively, then the Rams could possibly build on that. Because it takes a little while, but if something big happens for the Rams, such as those things I just mentioned, the Rams can get the ball rolling and they can pretty much put points on the board and just run away with it. So that's the thing. The key for the Rams is momentum. The more momentum they build, especially if it's a home game at the Coliseum, the more they can possibly put points on the board and just possibly, pull the upset against the Ravens. Because again, the Rams' schedule gets tougher from here on out, and they really can't afford too many losses. Because 6-4 is good, but they can be better than 6-4.
Absolutely right at the buzzer. Good job there. And with 30 seconds on the clock, what do you think, Scott? Do you think that's a pretty good game plan to do against your Ravens? Something you would do against your Ravens if you were against them? And what do you think, man? Or are you thinking, nope, not going to happen. We're gonna get this victory, and there's nothing y'all can do about it. What do you think, man?
I mean, I don't know what I would do to stop the Ravens right now. And I'm not trying to go full homer by saying that, but we have just been firing on all cylinders. I mean, I don't really look into the whole peak too early thing. I don't really do that. I think that right now they're just putting it all together. But he is right, though. I think momentum is a factor. I think that if they can get ahead early and make Lamar have to throw and be a passer and take the run away from him, that's going to be their best bet, is to get up early, get up, 2 touchdown lead, and make Lamar, be a passer, make him be a thrower.
Absolutely, I like that. Man, that was a great job, gentlemen. Shake virtual hands. That was awesome. Great face-off, gentlemen. You kept it nice. Kept it classy. Great stuff, guys. That was good stuff. So once again, ladies, you have Mr. Scott Shaw and Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. Awesome stuff here. So let's go ahead and get on into what you, the listeners, thought and who you think is going to win this game. Let's do it, guys. Let's do that. So I went on over there during the break, and oh my gosh, this is lopsided. I'm not during the break, but during these guys is the last round here, and I saw the final here, and I'm very, I'm not shocked. I'm really not. It's just shocking to see how lopsided this is, going off of how dominant the Rams were last year. It's really kind of annoying to see how bad the Rams are this year, or how not competitive they are compared to last year. They're not competitive. They're still better than a lot of teams in the NFL. I'm not trying to kick them in the nuts completely. But I'm just saying that the Rams are nowhere near what they were last year. Taryn said it a million times. It's the truth. Okay, but the Ravens are so good, and let's just say it. I think it just led to our listeners' pick to be a little bit more lopsided than at least some of us would think it would be. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, you the listeners, with a whopping 87% are going with the away team, the Baltimore Ravens, to win this thing on the road on Monday Night Football to end week number 11. And my gosh, Scott, what do you think of the listeners' pick?
I mean, I'm always skeptical. I think we're gonna. I think we'll win the game. But it could. It's tough. We're going West Coast on a Monday night. Guys aren't used to playing football in their head it's going to be a Monday afternoon at 4 or 5 o'clock. They're not used. People aren't used to playing football at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. So again, I think we will win the game, but again, I'm always glass half full. I mean, they definitely pose a threat. That defensive line is scary.
That's a great way of putting it. A way to be humble there, Mr. Scott. Taryn, what do you think of the listeners' vote, man?
Well, I can't really blame them. I mean, the Ravens knocked off the Patriots, for goodness sake, and the Rams don't really... the Ravens knocked off the Patriots.
I said right?
Yeah. And the Rams, I don't really... looking at their schedule, I don't really see too many standout victories for them. I mean, they beat the Saints, but that was without Drew Brees. They they haven't really had too many breakout victories. I mean, other than the Bears, but the Bears have no offense. So this is a huge test for the Rams because, again, the schedule does get tough. You know, next week they're at Arizona, and again, that could be a trap game considering they have an even tougher game, another primetime game after the Cards. So, you know, the Rams definitely have a lot to prove in this game and going forward because, you know, otherwise we could see Los Angeles without a playoff team this year, because especially with how the Chargers are doing, who knows, maybe the Raiders could represent California. I know the 49ers are going to represent California, but who knows, maybe the Raiders can represent California in the playoffs as well.
Now you're just being a nice guy, Taryn. You're just being a nice guy now. That's what you're doing. Just being a nice guy. So, I appreciate you, but yeah, yeah. You need this. There's this thing, Taryn. I know you guys don't know what it is either. Trust me. There's this thing that Scott knows all too well. You know that thing that you guys always seem to have, and it's dominant every year since, like, the birth of your team. What's it called, Scott? Oh, defense. Defense. That thing called defense. Taryn, do you know what defense is? I don't know defense.
Of course. It's what wins championships.
Yeah, I don't know what defense is at all, because the Raiders haven't ever had one, like, since I've been alive, I think. So, I mean, or something. I'm not quite sure what defense is. You know, as a Raider fan, I mean, we've had decent defenses, but then we have terrible offenses. And now that we have a good offense, we have a terrible defense. So, yeah, but I appreciate the nice words, Taryn. I really do. But, yeah, we're just right now. But I would really love to see us represent the Ravens. I mean, represent the California in the playoffs, especially as the last year that we're going to be a California team. So, anyway, with that said, that will do it. Awesome stuff, guys. Really, I am totally excited for this game on Monday night. We don't know. Once again, they could be a dark horse. The Rams somehow come out and knock off the Ravens. I mean, if that happens somehow, then we're going to be freaking out. Like, the entire football world will be flipping on its head again. And before you know it, all these negative talks and everything about the Rams, it's going to go away. And before you know it, the Rams are back. The Rams are back. And before you know it, the Ravens. Oh, no, the Ravens. Should they be panicking? I mean, you know the drill, guys. It's the way it is. It always goes. But I think it's going to be a very good football game, and we're going to, of course, talk about that in the final weigh-in coming up here. But with that said, once again, gentlemen, that was absolutely awesome. Really appreciate you guys for your time here tonight, and that will be that. So, with that said, y'all, we'll give ourselves one more. Actually, you know what? How could I forget, guys? We need a little bit of time to shine at the end, as we always do. So, with that said, let's go ahead and give our guys a few moments here to talk about to spread out their Twitter handle, and all the good stuff here. So, Mr. Scott, you know the drill, good sir. Where can all these die-hard Ravens fans find you, man?
You can find me on Facebook at just my name, Scott Scholl. And on Twitter, you can follow me at Scholl for Real. And that's where you can find me. I don't really use any other social media, just Twitter and Facebook for me. So you can follow me there. Always posting Ravens, always posting all types of sports stuff. So yeah, just give me a follow. I will follow back.
There you go, man. Taryn, where can these diehard Rams fans find you?
You can find me at Tan Rodriguez1. You know, Teran is my first name, and then Rodriguez, and then the number 1. If you're a Rams fan, you know, I will show some love to the Rams, but I'm mainly a Chargers guy, even though the Chargers stink this year. Darn it, Philip Rivers. But again, I talk a lot of sports, and as I'm talking right now, I'm kind of live tweeting the Baylor, Texas women's volleyball match, and you can find me on Set Point on Monday, so there's that too.
Great stuff as always, Taryn. Great stuff as always, Scott. Appreciate you guys, man. Hang on real quick, and we'll get to ourselves a quick break. When we get back, well, we're going to have some fun, giving the final weigh-in, of course, the picks for week number 11, and if the playoffs started tomorrow. Once again, that's all coming up here in the final segment of 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there. What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Callum Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
Absolutely! And you just heard all 3 of those primetime face-offs. And of course, all the show has to offer tonight. We couldn't appreciate y'all enough, y'all. I just want to say once again, big shout out to all y'all, man. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for listening in tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. It was a good one. Absolutely a good one. And we could appreciate y'all more. So thank you all so very much for sticking around and showing us love in the chat room and all the good stuff. So anyway, with that said, Mr. Scott dipped out, but Mr. Taryn is still here, as a matter of fact, and we are right back at it. And here we go. So anyways, let's go ahead and get on into the final stretch here. And it's kind of funny, Taryn, I just noticed right now too, the ladies of CBU, we're actually ending the season tonight with the Crosstown Showdown. Of course, the ladies of CBU are at UC Riverside, and literally it's a Crosstown Showdown, but not very far from each other. And really excited because we're looking forward to get that victory, of course, at UCR tonight. So let's go, Lancers! I have a soft spot for the Highlanders. I always will. I'm a big UCR. I will promote UCR all day long as they're not facing CBU, my number one. So that's what's going down tonight, Taryn. We actually have a little bit of women's volleyball going down here in Riverside, man, in the IE.
Yeah, oh yeah. It still boggles my mind how Cal Baptist isn't going into the playoffs, or not into the playoffs. Didn't get an invite to the WAC conference tournament, and I kind of spoke about it, and I think that Cal Baptist could have done some damage, because believe it or not, Cal Baptist is the only team, for those of you that don't know, Cal Baptist is the only team to have taken New Mexico State in conference play to 5 sets, and Cal Baptist almost won that match. They were up 2-0 in the match, and then New Mexico State forced a 5th, and New Mexico State won that 5th set 16-14, which bummed me out because it would have been fun. It would have been funny yet interesting to see Cal Baptist pull that win. So I don't know what's going on, but one day Cal Baptist is going to make some noise. Don't sleep on them Lancers, them Lady Lancers.
Absolutely. Thank you, Taryn. That's really frustrating, man. Like, I don't know how they didn't make it. I don't get it.
Yeah. It looks like Detective Larry and Detective Tan will be on the case on that one.
Seriously, man. Like, that's really annoying. Like, I do not get it, man. The WAC championship, like, you're right. The ladies fought hard all year, man. I'm not quite sure on the final record, but I do, or on the record as of right now, I just know that this team, I didn't follow as closely as I should have this year at this team, but it's really irritating me that they couldn't, it's really irritating me that they played that well and didn't get in, so that's kind of annoying, but, well, I guess that's it for this year. But you know what? It's all right. Tonight, like I said, Crosstown Showdown going on. I think it's actually starting right now. I'm just getting a tweet up right now for them because I'm looking forward for a big victory here. Hopefully, we can get a nice big victory over UCR. Hey, we love them. They're crosstown rivals. But like I said, hey, it's a rivalry. That's all there is to it. So big ups to the Lady Lancers. Go get them, ladies, one more time on the season. Looking forward to a nice victory this evening, ladies. So let's go get one. All right, here we go. So I just got the tweet up, and well, let's do this as they always do. 1, 2, 3, Lance up! And I'm so excited for this, y'all. So let's go get it, ladies, and let's go earn that victory one more time for the season. Close it out with a victory right, I was going to say down the street, but literally like down the freeway and make a right. That's pretty much where they are. So anyway, with that said, Taryn, let's get to it, man, and let's get to if the playoffs would start tomorrow. So here we go. Starting things off here, we're talking playoffs, courtesy of the ESPN ScoreCenter app. Taryn, let's get on into it. The playoffs for the start tomorrow in the NFL, because it looks a little something like this. And I don't know why I said week number 11. We're into week 12 this week, so my bad. So into week number 12, let's go ahead and get on into the standings here and the playoff picture as of right now. So here we go. And we are now, of course, in the AFC. Of course, the Raiders are right outside. Gosh darn it. But as of right now, we have number 1 seed New England at 9-1, and the Baltimore Ravens in the number 2 seed at 8-2. In the wild card, we would have Kansas City at 7-4, Indianapolis at 6-4, Buffalo at 7-3, and Houston at 6-4. As of right now, if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, Houston would be flying to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs, and Buffalo would be flying to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Taryn, what do you think about these two games, man? If they, hypothetically, if they were to happen, what do you think, and who do you think would be moving on?
Well, I don't mean to put a damper on all the Houston Texans fans, but I think Kansas City would beat the Texans. I mean, unfortunately, the Texans are cursed when it comes to the playoffs. I hate to say that, but, I think they've only gotten one playoff win in, and that was against a beaten-up Raiders team that didn't even have their starting QB. I shouldn't mention that. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, I'd probably take Kansas City over Houston. The Buffalo-Indianapolis one is kind of interesting, especially with all the injuries Indianapolis has. So, to me, Buffalo is kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Sometimes they're playing their best game, and sometimes they're playing their ugly game. With all the adversity Indianapolis has been thrown at, it wouldn't be surprising if the Colts beat the Bills. And I kind of would, if they had more of their players like Marlon Mack, and if Eric Ebron was at 100% and T.Y. Hilton would be fully healthy, then I'd definitely take the Colts in a heartbeat. But as of right now, those guys are beaten up, and the Colts are licking their wounds, which is why Thursday's game is so huge for them. So I'd probably take the Colts just to be safe, but don't sleep on the Bills. They're much improved, especially if Josh Allen doesn't play dangerous.
Absolutely. I'm going to go right there with you, man. I'm going to literally just steal your picks because I feel that, right now, no J.J. Watt. I know you have Deshaun Watson. He's amazing, but at the end of the day, man, it's just I could not pick the Texans over the Chiefs right now. Even as mediocre as the Chiefs kind of look right now. The Chargers, my apologies, Taryn, I feel like should have wiped the floor The Chiefs should have wiped the floor with the Chargers on Monday night, and they didn't. Phillip Rivers throws 4 picks, and they only win by 7. I'm just saying that you guys, of course, have a pretty good defense, but nothing away from the Chargers, but the Chiefs really could have capitalized and did a lot better than that. So, I don't know. They would get a good fight from Houston, but I'm going to take the Chiefs too. And then, yeah, it's going to be really hard to not take the Colts. Even as torn apart as they are right now. And as for Buffalo, gosh darn it, they're doing so much better. Allen is this guy is coming to his own, but I just don't see it, man. I don't see Allen and this team. They're a good team, but I just don't see them going on over, especially going over to Indianapolis. If they were at home, they might have a little bit better chance. But I just really think that Indianapolis is a little bit better. So in that case, we're both going with the Chiefs and with the Colts. That means that Indianapolis would be going to New England, and Kansas City would be going to Baltimore. What do you think about those two games there in the divisional round, Taryn?
Okay, so the Patriots. Sorry, Colts fans, but the Patriots would cruise past the Colts, unfortunately, because it always seems to happen. Whenever the Colts are on the Patriots' warpath, the Patriots just always straight up dominate, And, Jacoby Brissett, facing his former team, I just don't think that he'll have the answer. I think the Patriots defense will pick him apart, unfortunately. Now, the Ravens and Chiefs are an interesting matchup, considering the Ravens are playing some of their best football right now, having won 6 in a row at the moment, while Kansas City's still trying to find answers, Mahomes just coming back from an injury, so, I think they're pretty beaten up, too. I think one of their running backs, Darrell Williams is out, or Damian Williams is out. What's up?
I think it's Damian Williams, yes.
Yeah, Damian Williams is out with injury. I think Tyreek Hill might be licking his wounds a little. So I think Baltimore would probably win that match. I'm not picking the top 2 just because of home field advantage, but I just think the Ravens are, like I said, in that primetime matchup, are just a complete team, and they're coming into their own. Like, Lamar Jackson is more confident at quarterback than last year, and he's got a lot of weapons to throw. And if teams try to take him out of the equation, they have Mark Ingram, and like I said, Lamar has like a lot of good offensive receivers, like Hollywood Brown, your boy, and Mark Andrews. So I would pick the Ravens to win that one.
I'm with it. I'm definitely taking the Ravens in that victory in that game. I just couldn't see the Colts pulling this off. The Chiefs pulling this off. I think they're tough, but once again, with the way they play the Chargers and the way the Baltimore Ravens are playing right now, because once again, this is if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, meaning like injuries too. Like I just couldn't see it, man. I got the Baltimore Ravens moving forward, and of course, then I definitely have the New England Patriots. I want to say the Colts will give them a good fight, but I don't see that either. I think the Patriots will probably smack them around a little bit and win that one pretty handedly. And then, of course, we have the AFC Championship, where the Patriots are taking on the Ravens, hypothetically, right now. The playoffs are going to start tomorrow. This could be a good one. It could be a rematch of the only loss of the Patriots season so far. Taryn, what do you think?
So, here's the deal. The Ravens obviously beat the Patriots at Baltimore, but now Lamar Jackson gets the bigger test of playing at Arrowhead, or not Arrowhead, Gillette Stadium. And that would be a huge test for Lamar, because he's never played at Gillette Stadium in New England. And, when it comes to the playoffs, Tom Brady always goes into playoff mode, and, it would be interesting to see the Patriots face the Ravens at Gillette, and I don't know. That's a tough one. I would probably say the Ravens by a hair. It all depends on who they have when it comes to their health versus the Patriots on who they have, depending on their health. I would probably go with the Ravens, honestly, because I think Lamar has solved the the Patriots defense, and I think the Patriots have played so many soft teams. No offense if your team lost to the Patriots, but they've played too many teams not like the Ravens, and I think the Ravens are cut above the rest of the AFC.
Good choice. I mean, I think to be the safe pick, the Ravens, but honestly, dude, since they already beat them, but I see Belichick and Brady at home, number one defense, or number two, depending on where they are now at the Niners. I know they were going back and forth for like a week or two, or like 1 week solid, but at the end of the day, I see a very experienced Patriots team who's done this before. They're at home. It's freezing cold. Not trying to say it's not freezing cold in Baltimore, but it's Belichick and Brady at home in the AFC Championship. If you win that game, you're pretty good. So I'm just saying, yeah, I'm not going to say that the Ravens aren't pretty good, but I'm going Patriots in this game. And then in the NFC, so Taryn's going with the Ravens. I'm going with the Patriots. That means that he thinks the Ravens will represent the AFC. Once again, if the playoffs will start tomorrow, I think the Patriots will represent the AFC if the playoffs start tomorrow. And let's get to the NFC real quick. So as of right now, we have San Francisco 49ers at 9-1 in the first seed. The second seed, the Green Bay Packers at 8-2. In the third seed, we have the New Orleans Saints at 8-2. With the fourth seed, we have the Dallas Cowboys at 6-4. In the fifth seed, we have Seattle Seahawks at 8-2. And in the sixth seed, we have the Minnesota Vikings at 8-3. So as of right now, in the wild card, we would have the Minnesota Vikings flying over to New Orleans to take on the New Orleans Saints. And the Seattle Seahawks flying down to Dallas to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Taryn, what do you think about those two games?
So, the wild card teams are very interesting. You have Seattle at 8-2, and then Minnesota at 8-3. Those two teams are really good despite being in the wild card, and that just goes to show you the competitiveness of their league, especially in the NFC West. For New Orleans, Minnesota, I'd probably pick New Orleans. Unless Minnesota has another Minnesota miracle, I'd probably go with New Orleans in a close one. And, I think it would be a very good match, though, considering Minnesota, obviously beat the Saints a few years back in that Minnesota miracle. And New Orleans obviously wants to have some revenge for that missed tackle. Yeah, I'd probably pick the Saints as the safe bet, considering they play so well in New Orleans in the Superdome. So I'll probably take New Orleans just because they have a lot of offensive potential, and their defense is pretty solid as well.
I'm with you on that. And then for Seahawks, Dallas?
Okay, so this one's yet another interesting matchup. Seattle, comes from the competitive NFC West, while Dallas comes from the interesting NFC East. So, to me, I don't mean to PO a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans, but I'd probably take the Seahawks. Russell Wilson always has that knack for just leading the Seahawks to victory, and honestly, I think he's a little bit cut above the rest, and, despite all the critics saying that he should not be the NFL MVP, he's definitely doing his part, considering he has just been strong all season long, and, 8-2 is nothing to sneeze at. Their only two losses are to Baltimore, which is obviously really good, and I believe their other loss was to, what was their other loss to? The Saints. The Saints are also another team to not sneeze at. So, overall, I think Seattle's more battle-tested, and they're much more... They're just going to be more prepared. I think Pete Carroll's going to have his team ready, and this is another revenge game for the Seahawks, considering last year they lost to the Cowboys in the division, in the wild card round. So, I expect a full belly of fire in all of the Seahawks' bellies.
I think so as well. So you're going to take the Seahawks in that game?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so you're taking the Seahawks and the Saints, which means that the Saints win, they're automatically going to Green Bay. And Seahawks, and then whoever wins, Dallas or Seattle, will be going to San Francisco. And in this case, yeah, I would love to say the Vikings can go on over to New Orleans and win this thing, because they are a team that has proven me so wrong this year. They have been a very tough team to play. They have been really competitive this year, but I just don't see them beating the Saints. Now that Breeze is back, I mean, even if they still have Bridgewater, they were still winning with him. So I'm just saying, this is a good football team. So I really think New Orleans will get this thing done in the first round. Of course, that would still mean the same result. New Orleans will go to Green Bay, and the winner of Dallas versus Seattle will then fly on over to San Francisco. I don't see Dallas that well right now. That game against the Lions was just a little too suspect for me. I don't see it. I just don't. There's something up right now, and I don't really care for what's happening right now in Dallas. They have a good team, and why are they barely winning games? Like, they have a very good football team. Nothing against Detroit or any other team they play, the way you said it, Darren. But I just think, honestly, well, I'll get with the Saints, but we'll start with the Patriots. But I will tell you right now, I just feel like Seattle has the upper edge in this game. They have more, I don't want to say much more talent, but I think they are a little more talented. And at the end of the day, it's a Pete Carroll team. And this is going to be a very competitive game. I'm really looking forward to this if it were to happen. And I think Seattle would win this thing as well. That means Seattle would go on to play a team they know all too well, the San Francisco 49ers, and the New Orleans Saints would take on the Green Bay Packers. So quick and dirty, Taryn, what do you think about these two games?
So that's going to be a very interesting game. That would be very interesting to see the Seahawks get another crack at the 49ers. I would say the 49ers beat the Seahawks in a close one. I think the Seahawks would get a little bit of a revenge factor in that game against the Seahawks, and having lost off of a winning field goal in overtime and having missed a field goal, I think the 49ers are going to be a lot better prepared for the Seahawks. And for Green Bay and New Orleans, that game could go either way. Both of those teams are practically evenly matched. I think the Saints, having lost last year in the NFC Championship, will propel them to getting that victory over Green Bay. And I think with the revenge factor, and the determination of the Saints wanting to get back to the NFC Championship and possibly to the Super Bowl, will propel them to that on the divisional round. So I think I'd take the Saints over the Packers in a close one, as well as the 49ers over Seattle.
Good stuff there. I'm actually going to take the Packers. They're tough. They're a strong team. They've proven. They have been battle-tested, man. This is a good football team. Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers. You got two Aarons over there who are just doing their thing, playing great football. Honestly, man, I think the Packers really have a good chance to, and they're at home in the freezing cold, playing a dome team. I know that's not going to mean much, but once again, the Packers playing in that type of environment, the Saints just having the Saints being the Saints. I mean, they're a good football team. They definitely are, but it's the freaking, if the Packers get to that point, it's going to be really hard to stop them. So I actually would have the Packers winning that game and the Niners defeating Seattle. Why? Because I just feel like Seattle, I mean, they've already played. Yes, they were to win that, but they got that revenge factor going on. As you mentioned, Karen, I really do think the Niners win that game. Which, of course, would mean San Francisco 49ers hosting the Green Bay Packers. Wouldn't you know, it is a repeat of this Week 12 matchup we got going on Sunday night. In the same exact way, it would be Green Bay going on over to play the Niners, and honestly, man, this would be a good game. So, Taryn, quick and dirty, man, what do you think about that game?
That would be a really good matchup. Breeze versus Jimmy G, it wouldn't get much better than that. To the dismay of many 49ers fans, and to myself, being a California guy, I'd pick the Saints to win that one, just because, Drew Brees is coming at the end of his career, and he wants to go out with another Super Bowl, and, whether he makes whether he wins the Super Bowl or he just makes it to the Super Bowl, he definitely wants another crack at it, and nothing is going to get in his way. And he wants to represent the Saints, and especially after what happened last year. So I'd probably take the Saints in a close one.
All right, so you have the Saints. Of course, you have the Saints going over the Green Bay Packers, and you have the Saints winning over the Niners, San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to actually take Green Bay to defeat San Francisco. So we both took the underdog, the away team, to beat the Niners on the road, which that sucks. But I mean, it kind of sucks there. But that would mean you would have the Ravens taking on the Ravens taking on the Saints, and I would have the Patriots taking on the Packers. So in your hypothetical battle, Super Bowl 54, Ravens taking on the Saints, what do you think, Taryn?
Ooh, yeah, yet another tough and unpredictable matchup. Saints defense is really good, but the Ravens are just like they're almost the complete package. I'd probably take the Ravens to win that one. I think Lamar Jackson would just outduel Drew Brees, and I think he would wear down that Saints defense.
So you got the Baltimore Ravens being the Super Bowl 54 champions, and I think the battle of 12s, 12 versus 12, Brady versus Rodgers would go down. It would be quite the battle. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going again with the New England Patriots to win the Super Bowl. That's all I gotta say. So anyway, that was fun. Taryn, let's get into the picks for this week, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Here we go, y'all. The picks. The Week 12 picks right here on 3 and Out. Let's get it. Here we go, y'all. The week number 12 picks. Let's get down and dirty. Alrighty, here we go, y'all. First things first, quick and dirty. We only got 15 minutes left here on the show, so we gotta make this pretty snappy. But here we go, Taryn. Starting it off all tomorrow. Colts taking on the Texans. What you think, man? 6-4, 6-4. The Colts, Jacoby Brissett looking strong. They got Deshaun Watson, but no J.J. Watt. It's going to be a good battle. They favored, the ESPN Sports App is favoring Houston by 3.5 points. Taryn, who you got?
I got the Texans winning this one. This one will probably be close, but I think after last week's drubbing against the Ravens, I think the Texans are pretty much going to wake up and I think they're just going to be a little bit of a cut above the Colts, and it's a huge, like I said in the comment section, it's a huge game for both teams. Whoever wins has a leg up in that division. So I think the Texans are going to rise to the occasion at home. And it also depends on who the Colts have. I know Marlon Mack is out. I don't know about T.Y. Hilton, Eric Ebron, Jack Doyle. I know is going to play, but can their beaten up offense? Can the Colts beaten up offense take on Texans team that's coming off of a tough loss? But I got the Texans winning that one, and who knows? And maybe Will Fuller will be back as well.
Well, the Colts are certainly a team to be afraid of right now because they're playing very well. Not trying to say the Colts will fear them, but I do think the Colts will beat them. I mean, yeah, I think the Texans will fear them, but I think the Colts will beat them. Jacoby Brissett is just playing at a magnificent level right now. That defense is playing just good enough. I think they got this thing on the road, man. Final score, 27-24 Colts. Next up, we have on to Sunday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 3-7. The Falcons, 3-7. The Falcons looked pretty damn good last week versus the Panthers. The Buccaneers, well, they almost had a good game, but it wasn't what they wanted. They have the Atlanta Falcons favored by 4.5 points. Quick and dirty, Taryn, what do you got?
I'm actually going to take the Buccaneers for this one. You know, both teams are having quite the forgettable season, and I think this is the game where Jameis Winston's going to finally get over that turnover curse, and I think the Buccaneers just have more offensive potential with, like, Godwin. Hopefully O.J. Howard doesn't have another blunderous afternoon like he did against the Saints. And I think the Falcons won't have Austin Hooper and Devontae Freeman, and it's kind of going to be tough for Matt Ryan to find Julio Jones all the time. But we'll see. I take the Bucs by like a field goal.
It's going to be a good game. I think the Buccaneers will wake up and get pretty good. But with James Winston this year being so inconsistent, throwing so many picks, and the Falcons' defense not being absolutely worst, I mean, it definitely could be a lot better. But I just really thought they could be a lot. They're going to pull things off. They're going to make sure to make things happen. Don't know what's going on right now with Matt Ryan. Don't know if he's out or not, but I do know that this offense is getting a little bit better. End of the day, I think they're going to defend their turf by a field goal. I got it 30-27 Falcons. All right, so we got to speed this up a little bit, Taryn. We got to jump through these a little bit faster, but let's go ahead and get through the next pick here. Broncos at 3-7. Bills 7-3. The Broncos played pretty okay last week. The Bills, well, the Bills are the Bills right now. They're good, and then they're not so good. They're decent. So I don't know. Taryn, your thoughts?
I'm taking the Bills to win this one. It'll actually be pretty close. I think the Broncos defense will show up, but I think Josh Allen's going to find a way around that defense, Bills are having a great season, and I think they want to keep up this momentum because you never know with their schedule because they do have a tough schedule going forward, and this could be a trap game for the Bills. Next week they have the Cowboys and the Ravens. The Steelers are pretty tough, and the Patriots. So this game could be a trap game for the Bills, but I got the Bills winning this one.
It's going to be a good football game. Long story short, the Broncos, the defense is good until they're not. That's all there is to it. I owe Taryn a public apology because, yes, they are a good defense. I just kind of hit on the Broncos a lot, is what it is. But I'll tell you what, right now, the Bills have definitely a good team. The Broncos are, once again, the defense is only good until they're worn down. I think the Bills are going to be able to wear them down, and they'll pull this thing off. I got this one, final score, 37-24. Bills win this one at home. Next up, Giants 2-8, Bears 4-6. The Giants have been anything but impressive this year. But it's kind of funny. Neither have the Bears. What do you think, Darren?
Despite the Bears having one of the most abysmal offenses in the NFL, I'm going to take them to win. The Giants have just not had an answer, even with Daniel Jones. I think the Bears are going to force him on the run a lot. The Giants will be questionable in regards to Evan Ingram and Rhett Olsen. Saquon Barkley cannot carry that team by himself. I got the Bears winning that one. The Bears defense is going to shut down the Giants offense.
I think so. The Bears are. I really like Daniel Jones, what he's doing, but I guess I feel like the frustration has built up so much for the Bears. If they don't get a victory, it's going to get really ugly. I don't even want to know. I just want to say that the Bears should be able to win this football game. So I'm going to go final score 17-10. Bears win at home. Next up, Bengals at 0-10. The only winless team in the NFL will host the Pittsburgh Steelers at 5-5. Let's just say an AFC North matchup. Well, we all know they can get pretty nasty. Taryn, like I said, we got to make these really quick and snappy. So what do we got?
There's no doubt in my mind it's going to be the Steelers winning this one. They obviously are mad after that blunder against Cleveland, and the Steelers are still in the playoff hunt, but they now need to win as many games as possible, and it starts with this one. They have a pretty winnable schedule, but after last week, they got to actually show up. Nothing is guaranteed.
Absolutely. Is he taking the Steelers?
Yes, I'm taking the Steelers. That's my final answer.
Totally with you on that one. Steelers win this one 24-14. They just find a way to do it. Bengals, my bad, guys. Anyway, speaking of the blunder of last week, the Cleveland Browns at 4-6 will host the Miami Dolphins at 2-8. I don't think there's a lot even to get into, Darren, in this one.
I'm picking the Browns. I think they've got some momentum going, and despite coming off, they came off of an emotional victory over the arrival, and I think they can get it done again at the Dog Pound. And unfortunately, there's going to be some steam-fried dolphin after the game.
Those poor Dolphins. I just don't see them winning. The Browns winning 31-17. Don't ask me how. I just think so. Anyway, Panthers 5-5. They just got blown off the face of the planet last week, poor guys. And the Saints that are just kind of aggravated after their loss 2 weeks ago Cardinal at 8-2. Once again, Darren, there's nothing to discuss here, I don't think. What do you think?
Yeah, I got the Saints winning this one. It's funny because both these teams actually lost to the Falcons, and those were definitely unexpected. I don't really see how the Panthers will be able to beat the Saints. If they couldn't even beat the Falcons, they sure as heck don't have a chance against the Saints. Just like with Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey cannot carry that team forever. So I got the Saints winning that one.
Yeah, I don't see this one going anyway but the Saints' way. I'm going to say 35-14. It's just going to get bad. That's all there is to it. The Panthers can't do much. There's no Newton. The Saints are just rolling. They got Breeze. They're doing their thing. So even with Bridgewater, I think they'd still blow them off the face of the earth. So sorry. Anyway, Saints at 8-2. Eagles at 5-5. The Eagles have been so up and down. It's been a roller coaster. The Seahawks have been a little more consistent this year. I think it's a good game. They actually have the Eagles winning this one by 1.5 points. I don't know, Sam. What do you think?
Nah, I pretty much have the Seahawks winning this one. You know, the Seahawks are on a roll. They definitely need to keep pace with the 49ers because, again, no game is guaranteed. And this could also be a potential NFC wildcard match if the Eagles Seahawks play their cards correctly. So we'll see how it goes, but I got the Seahawks winning this one.
This shouldn't be hard. I definitely say the Seahawks should pull this thing off on the road. I'm going to go final score here, 28-24. Should be a pretty good game. The Eagles will fight them, but yeah. Anyway, so okay, we got to really, really push the last couple of games. We only have 6 minutes, guys. So, okay, Lions 3-6-1, Redskins 1-9. I don't see... This actually should be a pretty good game, but I don't see this one going any way but the Lions' way. What do you think, Darren?
I'm actually going to pick the Lions. I think the Lions have what it takes to take down the Redskins. The Redskins do have a good defense, but I think the Lions, they played the Cowboys close. I got the Lions winning this one in a close and ugly game.
I think so. I'm going to say Lions winning this one. Final score 24-21. Then the Raiders at 6-4 taking on the Jets at 3-7. As I mentioned earlier on today's show, my goal coach from high school sent me something about the Jets with the run-stopping defense, and the Raiders, well, that's the way we win, by running the ball. Personally, I'm going to take my team all day. We're favored by 2.5 points. I'm going to say final score 31-21, but hey, that's just me because I'm a fan. What do you think, Darren? Quick and dirty, man.
I think the Raiders win this one. They're on a roll, and they know they're in the playoff hunt, and they definitely can't afford to lose to a team like the Jets. I have them winning this one, no doubt about it, and they're going to make it 4 in a row, and they just can't look ahead to next week, and this game could be a trap game, but I got the Raiders winning.
I agree. So we got 5 minutes. It's got to be like 15 seconds, man. So here we go. Couple games here. We got Jaguars 4-6, Titans at 5-5. I'm just going to go ahead and jump on these. There's nothing to discuss here. The Jaguars, they're decent, but once again, there's just a lot more to work on. The Titans are aggravated. They need every win they can get. I think they're going to pull this thing off by a hair, 31-28. Taryn?
I think the Jaguars pull the upset. I think the Jags are going to be frustrated with last week's loss, and I think they're going to show. I think they're going to show up and take down the Titans. Nick Foles got his bad game out of the way after he came back from that shoulder injury. I think he plays his most complete game of the season against the Titans.
Sounds good. Cowboys 6-4, Patriots 9-1. This is probably one of the best games, I think, of the week. As Texas said earlier, he texted me, and he wrote to me on Twitter, says the game of the week, and it really is the game of the week. Overall, the Patriots are going to win this thing. I don't like what the Cowboys are doing right now. I don't really care how things are going. Short and sweet, I think the Patriots are going to find themselves in a nice victory. I'm going to say final score 38-24 in this game. Patriots win it. What do you think, Darren?
All I can say is that America's team is going to win, and that said, the Patriots are going to win, and I think they're basically just going to overpower the Cowboys. And I think last week's game against the Lions kind of has me puzzled about the Cowboys' consistency. So I'm taking the Patriots.
America's team. Good one, man. Absolutely. Then we have Packers at 8-2, Niners at 9-1. We just talked about that game. Well, kind of, at least in my hypothetical realm. But they're favored by 3 points, courtesy of the ESPN Score Center app. Short and dirty, man. It'll be a very good football game. I think the Niners get this round, but it's going to be a good one, man. I'm going to say 35-31, Niners win it at home. What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, I think you're pretty much right about that one. I think the Niners win 34-31 off of a field goal from like Robbie Gould or Chase McLaughlin or whoever is kicking for the Niners. So, yeah, I got the 49ers winning a close one.
Yeah, they play in the playoffs. The Packers win that one, but I don't know. Right now, I guess like the Niners win at home. And then final game of the night. We talked about it already. Monday Night Football. Ravens at 8-2. Rams at 6-4. Well, Terry, and since you were in the primetime face-off, man, go ahead. Give us your final thoughts.
You know, Rams are going to need to play perfect, short and sweet. You know, Rams are going to need to play perfect, short and sweet. If the Ravens get it going early, then the Rams are in for a heap of trouble. If the Rams get it going, then this match will be interesting. Realistic, when it comes to being unbiased, I got the Ravens winning. I have the Ravens winning this one, but, you know, you never know with the Rams. You know, sometimes they could pull out that random victory, and you never know. It's primetime football. Rams are somewhat built for primetime football, but we'll see how it goes.
Somewhat built, so we'll see. I just don't see this one going anywhere with the Ravens way. I'm going to say the Ravens find a nice, happy little... the Bears get it nice. Got the tweet from NCAA Volleyball. It looks like Baylor just won, huh?
I guess so. Yeah, I was just. Yeah, Baylor won. Yeah.
Awesome. So, alrighty. So anyway, with that said, y'all, I'm thinking the Ravens win this game. Final score 24-14. I think that's a fair score, guys. I think this is going to be a good victory for you guys. So, with that said, y'all, Darren, applause button for you, good sir. Quick and dirty, man. We only got like a minute left. Where can these diehard fans find you, man? Thanks again for being on tonight's show, brother.
Not a problem, Larry. You can find me at Tan Rodriguez1 on Twitter. That's where I'm mainly active. I'm pretty much going to be tweeting about Baylor in Texas right now. Can't wait to talk about that next week at Set Point. So, yeah.
Alrighty. Cue the music, because we're out of here. It's been a fun one, y'all. I just want to say a big shout out and thank you to every one of our listeners tonight. Of course, as I always say, the man upstairs, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, nothing is possible. Big shout out to all of our listeners out there tonight. Big shout out to all of our guests, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez, Mr. Scott Joel, Miss Jess, Mr. Brian, of course, Mr. Chris, and, of course, Mr. Vinny. Big shout out to all of them tonight. Big ups all of y'all. We ran the distance, and well, that's what we like to do with y'all. Check us out at IE Sports Radio on Twitter and on Instagram. Check us out on IE Sports Radio. Give us a like on Facebook. We certainly like that. Check us out on all major podcast platforms, or the majority of them. You can find me, your boy Larry B, at THE_LB53. And of course, follow us. Check us out at IESportsRadio.com. Until then, we'll see y'all next week, y'all. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.